favorite podcast is Two Dits and Tits. I put up my tits to get down with this. My favorite podcast, Two Dits and Tits. We fight and then we celebrate with tits.
What's up? You're on with another episode of Jits and Tits. Damn! The Jits and Tits podcast is brought to you by Brandon Remy of Remy Fit, the premier online training outlet for combat sports athletes, focusing on the 4 pillars of performance: movement, mindset, sleep, and nutrition. Check out Brandon at RemyFit.com and be Remy Fit on Instagram.
We're also brought to you by Island Kava, Long Island's first and only kava bar, serving exotic teas and relaxing elixirs that'll help you recover and wind down after an intense training session. Island Kava is located right in the heart of Patchogue.
We are also sponsored by Total Motion 360. This new at-home fitness product combines both functional training and traditional training methods, taking it to new levels never seen before. Total Motion 360 combines landmine training and mixes movements from yoga, Pilates, and Tai Chi, creating fun, total body workouts to promote balance, mobility, and strength. Check them out on Facebook and Instagram at Total Motion 360 and visit their website, totalmotion360.com.
We're also brought to you by Relax and Revive, which is a total mind and body optimization and rejuvenation space. When you need to feel recharged and ready to go, book an appointment or walk in and give yourself a well-deserved break. They offer access to infrared saunas, leg compression therapies, full body LED recovery bed, cold plunge, and professional massage therapy. They also have a private room that has an infrared sauna and cold plunge in the same room to try out their contrast therapy.
The Jits and Tits podcast is also brought to you by Lalo. Lalo is a carbonated kava drink inspired by the culture of the south coast of the Fiji Islands, where locals have been cultivating and enjoying kava for generations. Their ingredients are sourced straight from the South Pacific, staying true to their island roots. Inspired by their island lifestyle, Lalo is looking to counterbalance the caffeinated work hard, play hard culture of our time. You can find Lalo at Island Kava, Long Island's major distributor of this relaxing, island-inspired drink.
What's going on, boys?
Yo, my bad.
Chitty Titty Gang.
Back in the building.
I was on that 5-minute late gang today. My apologies.
15-minute late gang.
Oh,
Who's
if you're
counting?
5 minutes early, you're 15 minutes late.
I'm usually 15 minutes early, so today I was only 5 minutes late.
Yeah, right. Oh, damn.
You just been banking minutes all these months?
Yeah.
Terrence, it doesn't work that way
I don't
for
know
when
if it
you...
works like that.
I wish it worked that way.
Yeah.
Not for the podcast, but for work. Because there's
That'd be
days when I'm
sick.
there an hour early, and there's days when I'm showing up at 6:59.
You roll over.
Sometimes 7:02.
Yeah, for real.
All right, so today we got a special guest on. Good friend. Mendez Brothers black belt. Danny Stolfi.
Hey,
What's
Welcome,
up, fellas?
sir.
welcome to the
Yo.
to the clan.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for waking up and being here with us today, dude.
Yeah. It's a
Hey,
commitment
anytime.
at this time on a Sunday. So.
Oh, yeah.
This is
appreciate
very
it.
early on a Sunday.
Dude, it's not that early.
Yeah, this guy's already been... Did you get anything with Dylan or what?
Yeah,
No,
I
of
shot one
course
dog.
not.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
I got to say something, Danny. You had a story up the other day that had me fucking dying, and I thought it was a perfect summarization of like your view on life and just kind of like your personality and how you just kind of like chill and relax. It was like, I'm a weirdo, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Dude, I love that. I love
Lying on his
that.
back. was-
Crying rainbows. Yeah.
Not that you're a weirdo, but just kind of you're just very like,
I didn't
Dude, it was so good.
I don't think I
and
saw
I feel like
that.
Danny's a very like you're just a
Dude,
very like
maybe
kind of go
Danny
with the flow
Shadowband.
kind of guy. It's like, all right, if I'm a weirdo, I'm a weirdo.
Dude, I try
can't
to
do shit
go.
about
I
it.
try to go with the flow, man. That takes a lot of effort.
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, there's certain things that are easier and certain things that are
Definitely
way
harder.
more difficult. But I feel like I feel like you do a pretty good job actually.
Thanks,
So I
man.
thought that was a hilarious
Yeah, I'm upset
fucking
I didn't
meme.
see that one.
Oh, dude, it was so good.
It was
so
dope
good.
art, and then I went on the guy's Instagram, and he has a bunch of cool shit like that. Like it was, I followed the account.
It was cool.
Yeah, I forgot what his name is. Like Cowboy Jackson or something.
Yeah, fire name.
That's Cowboy Jackson. That's great. That's awesome.
So funny.
So, you're in the new location.
Yep. We're in Yap Bank now.
Yep, that's awesome.
Wait, what? If for the naive people out there that don't know, what's in the new location?
What's in the new location? Just almost twice the size of mat space. That
No,
we
no,
had.
no. Like
We-
what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what my
Yeah.
business is. Oh, it's
Like twice as much mat space, cocksucker.
Alright, so it all started in 1990. In Bethpage, I was born. No, fuck. It's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Academy. Breathe Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So what? 4 years now, right? 4 years since you guys opened.
We've been open since like November 2018. So a little over 3 years now.
Nice, and already upgraded.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, man. We're very lucky.
Yeah, the mat space is nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful there.
It's gonna be a dope gym.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna be awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I remember when you first opened. I remember everybody was like, "Yo, jiu-jitsu's getting crazy, man." Because like I think Peak had just opened, you guys opened. I'm like, damn, dude, there's 2 legit black belts within like 2.5 miles of each other on Main Street. Like, what?
Yeah,
Like,
man.
back in the day, me and Nick, we talk about this all the time. When we first started, there was like 3 gyms. Like you had to look for a gym, and now it's like we got.
they were like a half an hour apart.
And
Yeah.
and one of them, like 1 or 2 of them were, there was only a purple belt or a brown belt had them. Like
Yeah.
there was no, you didn't have a black belt at the gym.
No.
They were like,
Now there's 2 active high level black belt competitors within like 3 miles of each other on Main Street. It's crazy.
I know it's crazy to think too that on my way to Breathe, I would pass another jiu-jitsu gym. Breathe relocated. I was able to ride my bike there, so that was dope. Just throw the gi on the back, just fly there, passing other jits gyms on the way, dude. Like that's so cool looking in, seeing people train.
Yeah.
So it came a long way,
You talk about the rad power though, right?
dude. Rad power.
Yeah, not a regular bike, right?
No, dude,
Take
come
it a little far.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that thing.
It's nice having here on Long Island. Like, there's so many gyms, like good gyms,
Yeah.
to train at.
Yeah, it's wild.
Competition is good for everybody, man.
It is.
For sure. And it's really just good to have jiu-jitsu around for the world.
Yeah,
More people doing jiu-jitsu is a good thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
That's it.
That's so true.
We talk about this kind of all the time, but like jiu-jitsu is the common thread for all of us, right? Like the way this podcast started, the way we all hang out here at Kava, like at any point in time you can come here and there's probably there's people from like 4 or 5 gyms on the island all hanging out, you know? So
Yeah.
it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's the way it should be, man. There shouldn't be any kind of problems between people. We're all doing the same thing.
Yep. And it's definitely cool how the community works too, where like we've said this before on podcasts where you can go be a college football player somewhere. You could be a college football player at a different school. We meet up. Yeah, we might have a common interest, but it's not as strong as if you were a jiu-jitsu guy and I was a
Right.
jiu-jitsu guy from a different gym. Now all of a sudden it's like fireworks are going off and like it's a different connection, which is pretty dope.
dude, even just like not even meeting the person. I just had this, I don't know, a couple days ago. I met this guy. I rolled with him in Connecticut. We became friends. He knows some dude down in Hawaii. So, like, someone I know is down there. He knew the guy. He's like, yo, this guy's whoever he knows is down there. Hook him up. Like, so it just kind of like that trust just extends.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even have to meet the person, and you know what kind of person they are.
Yep.
Dude, when we went to Texas for Nogi Worlds, we went and trained at this place called Corvo Martial Arts, and it was myself and maybe 4 or 5 other members from Breathe, and they just let us train for free. Like,
That's awesome.
yeah, they just
We
hooked
went there
it
a
up.
couple times too.
A couple times, right? And that's like for a drop in, he could have easily made like 200, 250. You know what I mean? And he's just like, all right, look, no, you guys can come here and train. It's cool.
But he kind of knew like you had your team here ready to compete, and he was just like, oh, you guys are here for a reason. Like,
Yeah.
do you
Yeah,
They
it
had,
was
they
really
had
nice
people
of them.
competing also.
Yeah, but so like
they
it
had
was
they had like competition roles like just there basically.
it was on a shared journey. Like these guys are competing, my guys are going for the same thing. Like, okay,
Yeah, we do the same shit.
Yeah.
Come on,
Everybody's
come on in.
looking to help each other out. No one's looking to.
Yeah, see the other one sink or drown.
Yeah.
Right.
Even at the bar, man, like I'll be, we'll be balancing whatever, and I'll see guys, they'll see the ears or whatever, and they're like, where do you train? And we'll get to talking, and I remember on several occasions guys being like, yo, I'm a brown belt, and this kid was from Philadelphia, and I'm like, oh, cool, no doubt. And then 20 minutes later, we're like stopping an altercation, and the kid's standing right behind me, like, yo, you guys good?
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
total stranger.
That's awesome.
Ready to be like, yo, we'll throw these people out.
Yeah,
And I
we got your
remember
back.
I remember John Satava came years ago, and he brought a couple guys from Marcelo's. I think it was like Mateus, Denise, and a couple other guys. And, you know, they showed up. I'm like, dude, you guys are good. Let them in for free. Got them a drink. And they were super appreciative, super happy. And again, at the end of the night, one night, I was like kind of getting into a little bit of an altercation. And like him and 4 of the dudes literally stood right behind me while I'm like chatting with this kid, and I had no idea they were behind me. I turned around, they're like, yo, we got your back. I'm like, dude, that's awesome.
Wasn't it the same night we tried to fuck with John and kick him out, and he was just like, he's like, all right, I'll see you guys later.
No, this was
okay.
Yeah, this was years before then, but yeah, he was just like, yeah, okay, I guess I'll go home.
He's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
So, Danny, your story's a little interesting because you were born and raised here on Long Island, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how did you make your way to the Mendez brothers, AOJ?
Yeah, so all right, so I was training in Long Island, training at Sarah Jiu-Jitsu. Me and a couple other guys, or a few other guys, went out to Worlds in 2012. And prior to that, I had never like thought about going anywhere else to train or like moving out of state or anything like that. But like when we went to California and I saw what it was like, it seemed like really realistic that we could live out there to train and compete. And yeah, it was really just like being out there and like seeing that like this place is not like this mystical out there place. It's like it's a real place you can go to. You can do everything you want to do there.
It's tangible, right? Like
it's tangible,
yeah.
Exactly. It's like when you're there, you're like, okay, like it's fucking normal. It's not like a weird thing. And while I was there at Worlds, the Mendez brothers were preparing to open their school, and they were handing out flyers. So I received one of these flyers, and I remember seeing it and being like, oh, this would be cool to go to. It was like for their grand opening or some shit, and I was like, this would be cool to go to, but you know, I wasn't going to be out there that long. So I had that in the back of my mind. And then when I returned home, I was still living with my dad at the time, and I think he was like deciding what he was going to do with the rest of his life. So we were living in Huntington, and he was going to be moving to Sound Beach. And I was like, fuck, like I can't move to Sound Beach. I'm not going to be able to train where I was training at Cerro. You know, it was literally like 3 minutes from my house. Like I could actually.
Sound Beach is almost farther than California.
Right. As it comes, you know, as far as thinking like I'm going to drive to the gym every day, like, you know, 45 minutes. Like, no, that's not going to happen. So I started trying to like piece together in my mind, like how could I make everything work out? And then, you know, I was having a conversation with my mom one day, and she was just like, oh, like, you like California? Like, we have family out there. She hit one of my uncles up, asked if I could live with him. He said, yeah. So I had a place to live. And then at the time I was working at a California pizza kitchen, and I talked to my manager to see like, hey, like, is it possible for me to transfer to a place in California? And he just started sending emails out. Eventually, you know, someone grabbed me, and I'm like, cool, like I could go to California now. I have a place to live. I got a job.
Sick.
Yeah, man. So.
And that was it. And then you signed up at AOJ?
Yeah, immediately. It was like the first day we arrived in California, like my cousins, you know, drove me down to Costa Mesa and checked out the gym. I signed up right away. Like when I was at the gym too, the manager's like trying to do this whole spiel, give me the tour, bring me around, talk to me about the history. It's like, yo, like I'm here from New York to train at AOJ. Like this is what we're doing.
Yeah,
like,
you don't need to do all
I'm
this
like,
shit.
bro,
you don't
can
gotta
just
sell it to me.
Sign me up, man. Whatever. What's the sign up fee? Whatever. Like let's do it.
And they basically open arms invited you in, right? Because I mean, it was like their grand opening. They didn't have a ton of students yet. Nothing like how it is now, right? Like you see some of the videos online, and like the fucking mat is packed.
So I actually I was there just as like a, you know, just a regular member, and I remember seeing off to the side during like the first morning class, off to the side on the second mat, there was a group of maybe like 5 guys doing drills. And I remember seeing that and being intrigued and like, what are these guys doing? And like, come to find out, like they're like the competition squad. So, you know, like I wanted to be a part of that, but I didn't want to like disrespectfully try to just jump on, like be like, yo, what can I do to get out here, blah blah. And so I just kept training like normal, come to the normal classes. And then a friend of mine, Gustavo Fonseca, he's also from Long Island. He's from Valley Stream. We met at AOJ, but
Crazy.
you know, so immediately like, you know, we're both from Long Island. He was like super open to me, and he's like, hey man, like if you have goals to be, you know, world champion, you have goals to work with jiu-jitsu, talk to the bros. You know, I up to that point, I was, living at home with my dad, a pretty like quiet kid, and I wasn't really the type of person to like speak up and like talk to people about what I want, but I really fucking wanted this. So, I went up to them, I talked to them, I just told them like, my goals, and they supported it. They're basically more or less like, all right, like if this is really what you want to do, this is what you got to do. And it was more or less like, you got to be here training, just whenever you're not working. They're like, we understand you got to work to make money to live, but if you want to be a world champion, like you have to be training all the time.
Yeah.
And like, so that's what I did, is train all the time, worked when I had to. And eventually, I talked to them about if they needed help becoming a coach or with the kids classes and stuff. And they were, receptive to that too. I was teaching or assisting like 3 kids classes a day. Damn. On top of training 4 times a day, on top of working my job. And shit, it was a grind, man. But
yeah, sounds like it.
What year was this?
This was 2012.
Okay. How long did you do that for?
Fuck, man.
How long were you there in total?
I was there for a little over 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wasn't like doing that the whole time.
Right.
But for the most part, that was like what my life was like.
So you went out there already training for several years? You were already like, what, a purple belt?
Yeah, I just got my purple belt upon going out there. And shit, I thought I was a really good purple belt too. Like I was, starting to like beat some of the higher belts and stuff. And in my mind that like meant something.
Yeah.
But when I went to AOJ and I was training with a lot of competitors, it was totally different, man. Like I was getting like beat by blue belts. Like I'd be losing some of the specific training to like white belts. I'm like, what the fuck? But the game is, the game's constantly evolving, and it's like, I mean, you guys know, like it's different. Like competitors versus like hobbyists is like totally different experience.
Yeah.
And,
That saying there's levels is 100% true.
There's levels, and that's not to say, when I ended up coming back home and training at Sarah again, like the whole landscape changed too, because like Jason Rao's over there like leading the charge and doing a lot of great work, and there's a lot of really good guys over there too, a lot of great competitors. And just like you guys were talking about, like Long Island Jiu-Jitsu has changed, the landscape's different, there's a lot of really good guys everywhere. So
it's crazy because like I remember years ago, probably around back in that 2012 2013ish, the idea was that like jiu-jitsu flowed like from the West Coast to the East Coast. Like East Coast was kind of always like playing catch up to the game that the West Coast was already playing. And like you said, now I feel like that dynamic kind of started to shift because years later DDS kind of started blowing up, and they're East Coast guys. They started innovating the leg lock game, and then the rest, like the West Coast and everybody else, started kind of catching up to that. I feel like that idea anymore that we're constantly like we're behind and playing catch up doesn't exist anymore.
No, it's kind of more like free flowing,
Yeah.
Yeah. There's just different styles.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
There's definitely a difference between an East Coast style and a West Coast style for sure. With the leg locks and the whole leg game to the side, like the style I think is definitely unique in its own on both sides.
Yeah, I don't know. In my head, I would say like the gi specific modern style developed mostly on the West Coast, right? You have guys like the Mendez Bros, you have guys like Keenan Cornelius, like creating all these positions in the gi, right? And then I would say, just like what D-Rock said, like no gi, like the DDS guys with all the leg locks and their innovations really developed a whole style here. And it's cool to see it changing. It's cool to see like with all the new competitions coming up, all the new rule sets coming up, like
some of the new tournaments coming up.
New tournaments.
Oh, what are you doing?
JNT
right?
Invitational.
I remember probably about the same year, like 2012, 2013ish. My buddy Mike, who had trained out here for several years, he went out to California for college, and he was training at Checkmat.
Oh, cool.
And I remember he came home to visit, and he dropped down at the school, and he was berimboloing me.
Yes.
And I'm like,
what are you doing?
I'm like,
Wait,
what
which
is
Mike
this?
was that?
Mike Stevens. I don't know if you know him.
Oh, I know Mike Stevens.
No, Mikey Stevens. Yeah, you know him.
I went to high school with him.
Yeah, Nick, you remember him too. He was a Red Boy cat.
Yeah?
Yeah, remember he used to dye his hair blonde. We used to call him Slim Shady.
Yes.
Yeah.
His
him.
name is Mike Stevens?
Yeah, Mikey Stevens.
I just knew him as Slim Shady.
Shout out to
Mikey Stevens. Yeah. Great kid, man.
He was awesome. I wrestled with him.
Wait,
Yeah,
that
great
was
kid.
the young kid who was a wrestler? He was.
Yeah, he dyed his hair.
Yeah, you
No, I don't remember him dyeing his hair, but
well, because this was at Red Boy, you weren't there for that. He came down to Vamos. I don't know if you remember. He brought me. He was like boys with the guys that ran Moya, and he came down to Vamos one day. He got me a Moya gi.
yeah,
that
he
white
was friends
Moya
with
gi.
I think show me a picture. I think I know who you're talking about. He was a
He's friends
good
with
kid.
Dr. Dre.
Yeah, he was. But anyway, like he was. I remember him coming out here and like rolling with him and being like, "What is this? What are you doing?" Like that. He's like, "Yo, dude, it's like that West Coast kind of style, like the Berimbolo."
That West Coast sauce. Kid.
Yeah, it was just the Berimbolo was kind of just starting to get popular.
Yeah.
You know, I think like the 50-50 was pretty popular.
What
just
year was this?
before
Like 2010 or 2009-ish?
This was like 2012, 2013-ish.
That's
somewhere
true,
around
actually.
there.
What am I talking about?
And
That wasn't like
yeah, he was showing me all the shit he was doing. I'm like, this is wild. Like, I'm like, I don't know anybody out here that's doing that.
Yeah.
Nobody was like Berimbolo.
No.
I feel like West Coast style is all like kind of flowing, like
It almost-
kind of how West Coast, like California is
Lifestyles,
kind of
yeah.
and East Coast is all like pressure, like
Fast
grit,
paced.
fucking
Yeah.
California's like laid back, flowy, artsy.
Yeah.
The East Coast is like gritty, you know, shoveling snow.
Yeah, running after the fucking public bus to catch you so you get to work, dude. I love the name of that school though, Checkmat.
yeah.
Yeah,
That is a good name.
Because I was saying, I forgot who I was telling last night, but when I got hurt and chess started to really blow off at Alan Cava, it was like I never played chess before, never. And D-Rock and Luigi and some of the other guys like taught me how to play chess, and I wasn't training because I had just tore my meniscus. And chess was like my only way of like enjoying jiu-jitsu because it's so similar. You got your setups, you got your sacrifices, you know, you got the strategical aspect of it where
And the way you play
The
it
traps.
compared to the way Luigi plays it or
Yeah.
myself, there's all
You
these
got a
variations.
style,
there's all
Yeah.
styles. And when I think someone brought up Checkmat yesterday, and I was just like, man, like I love the name, you know, like I don't know, it hit a little different for me.
The
since
parallels
I
are there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it hit a little different since I played chess, and we played chess for a long time here.
We
Dude, we
did.
used to put in hours. I
Yeah.
remember at one
Terrence
point.
had a whole fucking list of wins and losses.
Yeah.
He had a diary. He did.
Dude,
He
I
did.
remember at one point when I was injured too, and we were coming here and playing hours and hours of chess, and I was like, yo, I haven't been training. All I've been doing is playing chess, and I was losing weight. And I remember looking up, they did that study in Stanford, how many calories these guys burn playing chess.
Yep.
You know, yeah, you burn crazy calories.
From like
From
thinking?
yeah, your brain is the
pretty
most
interesting.
caloric intense organ in your body.
Word?
Yeah. And
Dude,
so like we
isn't
were
that cool?
playing 5-6 hours of chess and yeah.
Just cutting weight.
Yeah.
I think that's why like a lot of anxious people are skinny.
Bro.
Because their brains just
Yo,
fucking
I was just
banging
about to say,
calories.
man, like, dude, I have anxiety, and like, dude, when my mind is going, like, sometimes after like an anxiety attack or something, like, I'm fucking exhausted.
Oh, I'm sure.
Exhausted.
Do you get hungry?
I don't know, not that I notice, but
Because I used to get starving. If we would be sitting here playing like a couple hours of chess, I'd be like, dude, I am starving.
Yeah, I love playing chess.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you though, Danny. Was there a point when you moved to California and you were in your groove? Because I mean, it sounded like you were in like a crazy grind.
Yeah.
Was there a point where you were like, I made the right decision? Was there a spot that you could remember, or did it all just work out? And at the end, now that you're back in New York, you're like, yeah, that was the move.
yeah, that's a good question. I can't say that there was a time where I said like I definitely made the right decision, but there was, on the opposite of that, there was times when I questioned whether or not I made the right decision.
Yeah.
There was times when like I thought about quitting and leaving and just going home and shit. But you know, yeah, now looking back, it's like, yeah, that was a good decision.
Yeah, because
For
that's a
sure.
lot to take on, man. I mean,
Definitely.
Knowing that you have to be there every time that you're not working, like
Yeah.
that's a big responsibility to hold up. Knowing that, you know, you have to teach, you have to work,
Yeah.
you know, like juggling all of that just to go pursue your jiu-jitsu like dream. It's like, holy
Right.
shit.
While you're a competitor.
To me, though, the alternative, though, like, I mean, obviously there's a bunch of shit you can do, but like, so let's just say, like, there was a day when I was working at California Pizza Kitchen, and we were like in the weeds, as they call it, right? Like, you're like having a, you know, fucking rough day.
Yeah, you're behind.
You're behind, and like, I remember just being so stressed out and feeling like, fuck, man, this sucks. I was like, what am I gonna do? And like, realizing, oh, like, I'm gonna have to work hard no matter what. No matter what, there's gonna have to be hard work in my life. So why don't I work really hard towards jiu-jitsu because I love it? That way, even if it sucks a little bit, like, at least I'm doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
And like, at least it's leading towards something that I want to do forever.
Yeah, you're not doing the hard work begrudgingly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And
for no reason.
And so like every time like I would think about quitting jiu-jitsu or like going home or something, I'm like, well, what the fuck else am I going to do?
Was that always the end goal, to go out there and then come back here and open up a gym?
Yes.
Or did that kind of like materialize as you were doing it?
That was always the end goal. I mean, when I went over there, I think because I was around so many world champions, I felt like that was my main goal and like that's what I was working towards. But in reality, in like 2011, I was in college and, you know, I was in a tough class and I remember thinking like, what the fuck can I do? And in my mind, I committed right then and there to jiu-jitsu. I'm like, you know what, if I get good, if I get a black belt, I could open a school, you know, people come train, I can get paid. And like, you know, that was the idea I always had. Like,
never work a day of your life because you're doing something you love.
Yeah, but if somebody tells you that's a lie.
It's a lie.
It's so much fucking work. It's so much work.
Such a lie.
Damn, I've been lied to my whole life.
Yeah, I'm
bro.
definitely working, man.
You could enjoy it and make the best of it, but there's no way you're not working. Like, I love my job, but like, there's days I'm like, fuck this when it's freezing cold.
Even me, dude. Like, it gets a lot when you're training. You know, client after client.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like long days.
Yeah. See, I don't love my job. I could tolerate it. That's what I tell people.
I'm the same.
I can go to work every day and just make the best of it. I don't love it. I'd rather be doing something else, but I can tolerate it.
Yeah.
And it gets me through the day without killing the crew members that I have.
But it's also nice on that end to just be able to clock out and just not think about it.
Right, because if you own a business, you're working 24/7
all the time.
You're thinking about tomorrow, a week from then, a month from then.
Right. Somebody comes in here and wants to, you know, train jiu-jitsu. It's like, well, now you have to be a salesman. You know, it's like you can never just be off.
But I think what Danny said was perfect. No matter what, you're going to have to work hard. It doesn't matter what it is. You know, you're going to have to work hard in a job you like, you hate, in your passion, in what any avenue. It's going to require hard work to get anywhere with anything. So like, you might as well focus it on
yourself.
The things you enjoy. And like, I agree with Nick. My job, I think we were talking about this like 2 days ago.
A couple days ago.
My job, I don't love it. There's portions of it that I like. There's portions of it that I don't like, but it's enjoyable enough and it pays my bills where I can pursue like the things I love
and still have time to do other things.
Yeah, and I can pursue those things and put like a really good amount of time into them because I have a favorable schedule, and all those like extracurricular pursuits outside of my job, you know, 15 years later have really kind of started to pay off and open doors for me where like I'm starting to see like maybe in a couple of years that I may have a way out into that world, you know? So like I balanced, I feel like I had a pretty good balance of work.
I remember when I was younger hearing one of our instructors, or at least the owner of the gym, Paul Rodriguez, like bitching about how it sucks owning a gym. He's here all the time. You guys get to go out. You get to do this. I'm here at the gym. Yeah. And just remember being like, dude, you got the life.
Yeah.
You know, like you live in your gym. He had an apartment in the back, which is pretty dope. He was a single guy. And he literally unlocked the door. Most of the time, the gym was self-ran. He had other, like boxing, capoeira, jits. He had a whole bunch of different styles in there. So guys would come in and instruct. And he'd come out of his apartment in the back, hang out, talk. He'd teach his class. Next class would come in. Maybe it was boxing. Maybe it was capoeira. But I remember thinking, like, dude, what are you complaining about, man?
I think no matter what, people find something to complain about. And, like...
It's just the people. It's just that type of person.
Yeah.
It's such a shame, too, with that school, man. I feel like he flushed that school away. And that school... had so much potential.
It really did.
It could have been such a great thing.
Yeah, it reminded me of...
What school was this?
It was Red Boy.
Oh.
It reminded me of like a No Limits kickboxing. Just the way it was set up, but it had more though. Like Rick's gym...
everything.
Rick's gym is great. The only thing Red Boy didn't have was like a weight room area, but it had the bags, it had the mats, it had the mirror with the hard floor so you could do like your boxing and shadow boxing and shit like that. It had the... What was that, like a little... quarter of a mat for like wall fighting and shit like that.
Nice.
Yeah, it was and the people that were there at that point in time, like, you know, it was pretty unique. Back in like 2008, there wasn't really any MMA gyms really yet.
No.
And that gym was kind of coming together with like MMA, boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, and we had like you, me, Mikey Triangles, Eric Ott,
Ryan LaFlair would jump in, Eric Uras.
Post, like, you know, Mikey Stout, who started doing jiu-jitsu and became a really good professional boxer. Like there was a lot of good guys there.
Mikey Burns, bro.
Yeah, Mikey Burns.
Wait, Mikey Burns was around back then.
Yeah, he's a red boy dude.
He's been around forever.
He came in. I remember when he first started. He looked like homeless Jesus.
And smelling like an ounce of
he had long hair.
Oh yeah, long hair.
Not much has changed though.
Yeah, no,
it's
no,
so
dude.
crazy, man.
He had this long fucked up hair, this big fucked up beard, and used to just sweat THC.
Yeah, dude. Smelling like a whole ounce of weed the entire time, bro.
That's fucking
That's so
awesome.
funny.
But it was crazy to like talk about Mikey Burns. Like he was like kind of ahead of his time because he was like one of like the first guys that I went against that was like inverting.
Really?
Like you would like go to pass and he would invert. You would go to stack, he would invert. And like he wasn't doing it because it was the game. He was doing it because it just came natural to him. He was long, like very like flexible, you know.
Yeah, he's always had a very unique style.
Yeah, and
He's
now
weirdly
he's,
dexterous. Like he's got so much dexterity in his body.
and now he's just like 50 pounds heavier, and you're like, God damn,
Yo,
dude.
but he's still flexible.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, he's got some of the strongest legs,
Yeah.
like
Dude, the strongest.
of all time. It drives me crazy that Burns has been up and down because he was so talented right away, and like if he didn't have the breaks, man, he could have been so good. Not
Yeah,
that he's
agreed.
not good, but he could have been so
No,
much
it's-
better.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
you're trying to say.
I'll never forget. This just shows you what a unique individual Burns is. I love him. We went to a Naga years ago. It was like Naga Worlds in like Jersey City, and Burns piss mopped like the first 2 matches. Like submitted all these guys in like under 2 minutes, and then there was like a long break for the finals. He was like, I'm done," and just left. He didn't stick around for the finals.
No, but didn't he give up in the match and lose? And you were like,
that was
Yo.
a different one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the New York Open. Like years later, he's killing this kid. He's up like 22-1 or 22-2 or something like that. And I'm like, all right, Burns got this wrapped up. And then like 2 seconds later, we look over and I see him not getting his hand raised. I'm like, what the fuck? And he got submitted. And I'm like, what just happened? He's like, I just didn't want to be here anymore. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I don't know, kind of midway through, I wasn't into it. I wanted to go home.
Dude, yeah, the mind is a crazy thing, man. That I've had that feeling before.
He just bounced.
Fuck,
Yeah.
he's just like, fuck it, I want to.
It's so funny.
It's hilarious.
hilarious.
Yeah. And like the years before that, like I said, he didn't even stick around for his finals match. He was in the finals, on fire, killing everybody, and was like, I'm done. I'm going
See
home.
ya.
And just
Isn't that
bounced.
hilarious to me.
That's so
dude?
funny.
You make it all the way to the finals, bro.
And like super impressively, he subbed everybody mad quick.
That's great.
Damn.
The people that you meet and the people that jiu-jitsu actually have, it's like, it's interesting.
Yeah.
You know, you get such a like an everything bagel of people that do jiu-jitsu.
That's a good
Shout out to
analogy.
everything bagel. Yo,
That's
we've
a
been
good
talking about
We've been
bagels
talking
a
about
lot
bagels
lately.
a lot, bro.
Dude,
I had
Sunday's
like
a
4 or
big
5
bagel
bagels
day.
this week. What'd you say?
I said Sunday's a big bagel day for us.
Yeah, we
It
got
used
bagels.
to be.
We
It
haven't got
used to
bagels in a
be.
while.
We
Even
gotta
at,
go back to a really good bagel
even
place.
at this table, the amount of like personalities, you know what I mean? What do we got? 2, 4, 6 guys.
Yeah.
Pretty unique personalities just sitting at this table, like you said. Like you get a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Terrence is the most unique, obviously.
One of a kind.
You don't think Luigi?
Luigi's pretty unique.
Luigi's
No,
just
I'd say Terrence.
yeah. Luigi's you definitely are unique in your own way.
Luigi's weird. Terrence is unique. Luigi's weird.
I'm alright with that.
I'll take that.
And there's nothing you could do about it.
That's so funny.
Fucking
So,
hilarious.
Quick question for you, Danny. When you went out there, right, was your goal to get your black belt and then come home? Like, did you have a set like?
I didn't have a set timeline or anything like that, or like what I was gonna do. Like I actually wanted to compete more as a black belt when I was out there, but some things started changing with my mental health specifically, and that kind of drove me to really question like my pursuits and like why I'm doing what the hell I'm doing, and yeah.
That's one of the best things you can ever do, though. Honestly, I had something similar happen to me probably back in, I think, like 2009. I remember I read this book, Damien by Herman Hesse, and the whole premise of that book is like, why do you do anything, or the things you do really coming from yourself, or like external stimuluses and things like that. And I stepped away from jiu-jitsu, I stepped away from the gym, and a bunch of other things for like a solid 9 months, mainly jiu-jitsu, to like be like, why am I doing this? Am I doing this because I really want to do it, or am I doing this for like the pat on the back and people think I'm cool.
Well,
and, like,
you were down bad, or were you doing this because you was trying to find something out, or you were just in a bad?
I wasn't really in a bad spot. I mean, I wasn't in the best spot, but I wasn't like really like, I wouldn't say I was down bad, but I remember
Down horrendously.
Horrendous.
I was down slightly.
Dude, I'm down
slightly.
horrendously right now.
I was down slightly, but I don't remember exactly what it was that happened, but it made me I started questioning, and I read that book and I started questioning, like, dude, why do I do this? Like, do I really want to do jiu-jitsu? Do I really want to fight? Or like, am I doing this because like I think people will think I'm cool and you know, or I'm just doing it to have a certain look. Like I'm like, why do I really? And I didn't train for 9 months. I didn't go to the gym for 9 months to be like, why am I doing this? And then I remember I went back to one practice, and I felt so much better. And I was like, okay,
Because
like,
you thought about it.
yeah. And like I'm like, I actually need this.
Yeah.
I actually need jiu-jitsu. I feel so much better mentally, physically. I'm happier. And I was like, okay, this is like, I'm doing this for the right reasons. I'm doing it for me, not for other people. And like I realized it was kind of actually like a need. My mental health was way better. I need jiu-jitsu more mentally than I do physically.
Yeah.
Yeah, you realize that when you get hurt too, you know, that when you can't train and you're like, you know, you think you're like, oh, I could just not go to practice like here and there, you know, but then when you don't like actually can't go to practice, it's like, well, shit, you know, it's like, what the fuck do I do now?
I think for me, when I get hurt and I can't train, I think what kills me the most is that I feel vulnerable.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel vulnerable out there.
You feel weak and shitty.
Well, like vulnerable in the sense that like if something popped off, I wouldn't be able to protect Lisa and my friends. I wouldn't be able
Like
to.
you're not sharp.
Or just I'm vulnerable. Like when I tore my meniscus, dude.
Right, because you can't.
Because you're hurt, you're saying.
Yeah, when
Gotcha.
I'm injured, you know, like when I'm injured, it's like it doesn't really
I thought you
bother
meant
me.
like you forgot your moves.
No, it doesn't bother me the fact that I can't physically be there because I understand I can't. But what bothers me the most is that I feel super vulnerable, like in real life,
Right.
you know. And for years, like doing jiu-jitsu, like I just felt like I had like this like magic
weapon at all
like this
times.
magic power. It was never by myself. Like if it was just Lisa and I, it's like, okay, if something happened,
It's me, Lisa, and jiu-jitsu.
exactly. It's true,
You
dude.
still got it though.
100%.
Yeah.
I think even if you're hurt, like the average person, you know,
Yeah,
you'll probably be doing
The
just fine.
adrenaline kicks in. You're not even gonna be.
But
thinking
you're so
about that.
programmed, like
I just destroy my knee more after the altercation.
I know exactly what you're saying though, Nick, because I feel the same way, and I feel like, you know, we're all pretty similar where we're all so programmed to be in that routine of being in the gym and feeling good and feeling like, so when you don't have that, you feel vulnerable. And then for me too,
It's true.
I feel like I'm always on the precipice of slipping back into the person that I used to be, and I know that's not true anymore, but that's always somewhere in my mind where I'm like, all right, if I get injured and I can't train for 2-3 weeks or 2 months or whatever, like, am I going to turn back into that lazy loser that I was?
Right.
You know, and I mean, that was 18, 19 years ago, but I still feel like, oh shit,
He's in there.
I got to keep that demon down.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The demons are real,
Joe.
bro.
Like I have a shirt from Joe Rogan and it's a kettlebell and it says "Conquer your inner bitch."
Nice.
Yeah.
You
I wonder
know?
what she looks like.
Your inner bitch. You wonder what his inner bitch looks like. I like that he made it a female. Dude, when I think about the inner bitch, I just think it's just like me and my attitude. You're putting a female figure to it.
She's hot.
Funny.
My inner bitch has a wig, push-up bra.
She's real naggy.
yeah.
She sounds like Fran Drescher from The Nanny.
Sounds like Miss Doubtfire, bro.
Nick, why are you not going to jiu-jitsu, Nick?
Yeah, and I'm definitely a creature of habit too. I found that out early in life. I am a creature of habit.
Yeah, you are.
100%.
You definitely are. You eat the same shit every
Aren't we
fucking
all?
day.
Dude, what is this? What are you doing?
Dude,
I know, bro. I'm
you
just
know,
saying, like,
we're
I
gonna shred you apart right now, dude.
Dude,
Like,
you
No, I admire it.
from your
Like
friends, your peers.
Dude, come on, people listening, bro.
I honestly wish.
Dude, he's supposed to be the one hating.
I told you this guy's taking over as the hater.
No,
man.
I'm not hating.
It's
I
alright, dude.
admire it,
Thank
but
you.
I can't.
I appreciate that.
I just don't know how people can do that. Like, because I've tried when I was younger, you know, and I was like into the bodybuilding thing, and I'm, you know, having chicken, rice, and you know, the whatever it is, but the same thing every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called conquering your inner bitch, Remy.
Yeah, well, I'm a fucking bitch.
I have not conquered her yet.
Yeah. No, but I just need like, even like, that's how my whole life is like chaotic. Like I need shit like always happening.
Yeah.
I can't just do the same shit all
Yeah.
the time.
No, you could have
can't-
both.
Remy can't
No,
just wake
you
up on time. You know, like he always has to be running late.
Because I'm very similar to Nick
Today,
in
you were
that
here, today you were here early.
I'm a creature of habit too,
I thought
but
I was running late.
I'm pretty chaotic myself. Like, even though I'm a creature of habit, Oh, nice save.
Nice shot. Right to the dong.
I'm like in a web of wires right now.
I like some things. Like I know that Monday, Wednesday are gi. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday are no gi. Like I like that schedule, but like I don't know. I hate just doing the same thing all the time. Like even in training, right? If I had the same personal training clients, if every one of my clients was coming to me to lose weight, it would eventually get boring, Or if every single one of my clients was trying to be a power lifter, like it would get boring,
but that's not the same thing. That's not being a creature of habit. A creature of habit, like what Nick means, is not like it's just this monastic, dull Groundhog's Day. It's more he has his routines and things that are set for him and that work for him.
Right, that's a habit.
Yeah, but you're kind of like making it like Groundhog's Day-ish, where you're just training the same client every they're doing the same workouts
saying if I do the same thing every day, it gets repetitive.
But what he, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, because I feel like I'm very similar. What he means by like creature habits, like, all right, Nick knows Monday and Wednesday's gi. Tuesday he's not doing no gi, so he's going to be here Tuesday night working on his edits and probably very similar to me. Like I frequent the same establishments for lunch all the time. It's like more like that rather than like
if I was a personal trainer like in your field, like I wouldn't give a shit if somebody was doing weightlifting and weight loss and powerlifting and performance workouts. I wouldn't care about that. Yeah. It's really like for me personally, like my routine.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Your routine is similar, the same thing every day.
Yeah, and like what I eat. Yeah,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like
my routine is good.
Yeah, but there's variation in the course of your day where it's not like, all right, Monday wake up 3 p.m. this, 4 p.m. that, and then Tuesday, and if there's any deviation, it's off. Like it's more like a personal choice and assessment of those things rather than like being forced into like, all right, when I get to work, I know every day clock in at 8 a.m. I got to open, like, does that make sense what I'm saying? Like,
I like being a creature of habit. Like if I go on vacation by like day 3, like my legs start getting restless and I'm like, I feel like I need to do something. Like this isn't relaxing anymore. I want to go home.
Alexa gets upset at me because she's like, we couldn't go somewhere, just sit on the beach for 6 days. I'm like,
oh my god,
no, that's what happens.
I can't even do 3 hours on the beach.
I mean, listen, I could go to the beach every day as long as we're playing some beach.
Yeah, as long as
I need to be doing something. I can't just sit on the beach.
No, Lisa loves that, dude. She loves just like taking the sun in.
Bree does the same shit.
Just
like all females do that.
Dude, Jamie loves
just get a raft and go in the fucking water.
See, if I got to be doing that.
I love the beach, but going to the beach for like a week straight is a lot for me.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to handle that.
I like to explore.
No, but like we said, you have to just be doing activities, doing something.
Like going to Montauk this summer, dude. I'm so stoked, and like I am looking forward to spending 7 long days on the beach, feet in the sand, sun on my back,
fishing,
water between the cheeks.
I really want
the whole time.
I thought that Heine was watertight, bro.
I'm into that whole scene.
The whole time.
The whole scene.
Whole entire scene. I like how Rob started like abbreviating it, and now he'll just write like whole scene or whole entire scene on all our posts.
Yeah.
That's
Rob Roth from Sarah's, right?
I do, man. I used to train with him back when he was a brown belt.
Yeah.
I was there when he got his black belt, actually.
That's awesome. Yeah, he was a very unique individual.
Yeah.
Loved having him on.
He was a really nice guy, man.
He's an awesome guy.
Yeah.
I DM'd him a picture of the rotisserie chickens at Costco the other day. Like just so I just sent him like the chickens. Like there was nothing indicating where I was. So I wrote. He was like, "Look at those plump fuckers, just waiting to get gloved." Waiting to get gloved because he uses the blue gloves. And then he goes, he's like, Costco. He wrote Costco ? If I'm not mistaken. I'm like, dude, how do you know where I am right now?
Because they're bigger.
Costco got some rotisserie
They're
chickens.
bigger. That's the thing. And I told him that on the podcast. I'm like, yo, where do you get your chickens from? He's like, oh, like Stop and Shop or whatever. Yeah. Like, dude, you got to go to Costco, bro.
Yeah, save some bread.
Fucking steroided up ones.
Those things are juicy.
Huge.
They are.
They're like the size of a wild turkey.
I know, they're big, dude. And they're cheap as hell.
I know.
They're much cheaper than
they're like, what, $4?
Yeah, something ridiculous.
It's like crazy.
Yeah. I don't know how he does that, though. His eating regimen is he eats 1 time a day and he eats 2 rotisserie chickens
with his hands.
Yeah,
and then
blue gloves.
And then for dessert, he'll eat ice, like a tub of ice cream with either Junior Mints or some kind of topping in them.
Yeah, if you're curious about this, episode number
46.
Yeah,
everybody's got different things that keep them going.
Yeah.
You know,
he's one of the strongest guys like I've rolled with, and the most nutritious thing he puts in his body is coffee.
Yeah, that's crazy.
or,
That is
or
crazy.
chicken.
Yeah, if it was without the sorry.
Well, no, you're good. That's just like a part of fasting. They call it like the warrior diet. Like you just eat one meal a day, and you could pretty much eat like whatever you want. Obviously, he's got like a little bit of balance. That's wild.
Yeah.
He doesn't intake like any kind of like. He must take vitamins or something.
I don't think he does.
Strict paleo is the same way. Once
Black
a day.
coffee and gum throughout the day.
Warrior diet is very similar.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
paleo diet. Would
Well,
you say?
if you do a very like a true Paleolithic diet, technically you should really only be eating once a day.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Sam was actually funny. Sam from Breathe. I don't know her last name.
Samantha
Vallejo.
Okay.
Vallejo.
Yeah, so she brought up like kind of what Rob does, like eating that one time a day. And I was like, oh, you got to listen to the podcast. I'm like, we had a guy on that. All he does is eat once a day, and it's rotisserie chicken.
Yeah.
And she's like, rotisserie chicken? I'm like, yeah. She's like, that's it? I'm like, well, he has another one afterwards. She's like, he eats two chickens at once? I'm like, yeah, with his hands. She thought it was wild.
Dude, the other day he sends a picture to the group chat. It's just 2 chickens in a shopping cart with like blue gloves, like a pack of blue gloves.
That's so funny.
I mean, if you think about it, like, you know, that's what it kind of mimics like how we used to eat, you know, because you wake up, you know, we didn't have refrigerators and shit, so you go out, you hunt, you know, you gather your food, whatever it is, and some days you don't get anything, so you fast, you know, or other days you get a kill or you harvest something, you know, you have some vegetables, so then you eat. But
Makes
it's not
sense.
like you don't have 3 meals a day unless
I don't know,
you
Remy,
get that.
were you there?
What?
Were you there?
dude.
Bro, this is how it is.
Do you think? I'm sorry.
Trust me, I'm in the woods, bro. Some days you fast and some days you eat.
Okay, Dan.
No, I was just gonna say like I think that's like what keeps people in like a certain mindset, right? Like the survival mindset. Like you have to go eat, so like fasting all day. I don't know. This is just something I've thought before. Like might not always be the best thing. It's like when you have calories available to you, you have time and energy to think about other shit. Like kind of going back to what D-Rock was talking about with like your brain taking up energy. So it's like I don't know. Like sometimes if you're like when you're not worried about like what you're gonna eat, you have time to think about other shit. Like that's how you begin to be able to like philosophize, like start thinking about other things in life, like why you're doing what you're doing, you know, like what you're motivated by.
Yeah, if you're only thinking about survival, there's no time for other things, you know. And like I think Nick, we were talking about this the other day. I was talking about I think I was talking about my mom actually, and I was saying like, you know, my mom annoys the shit out of me a lot, but I have a
love
level,
your mom.
yeah, I have a level of sympathy for her because like when I think back to her life, my mom never really had a chance to, like you said, stop and think about like the course of her life or what's this or what's that or what's going on, because by the time she was 18, she already had 2 kids, single mom, you know, and then had 2 more and was basically in survival mode her whole life. Like when does she ever have time to stop and be like, what am I doing with my life? How am I living? Or what's the universe? You know, like you don't have time for that stuff. And I think that kind of carries over to like the world today. Like we're all still pretty programmed to be
surviving.
Like our biology is still caveman, and the technology is super modern, and you live this life where you're working 40 hours a week, you're doing jiu-jitsu, you have your like when do you have time to stop and audit yourself and think about those things? It's like it's almost impossible.
Well, dude, actually going back to what I was talking about with B. Remy when he asked me like, oh, was it always my plan to just get my black belt and leave? Around the time I was struggling with my mental health, like, you know, I was supposed to be still training 3 times a day, you know, teaching 3 times a day on top of that or whatever I was doing. And like there'd be days that like, you know, when I started struggling with my mental health, I just like didn't show up for training, and I'd just be home just like thinking, you know, like I'd like, you know, I'd like smoke a little bit or something, and I'd just be like thinking about like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I doing everything? I've told Terrence this before, like I'd be there just like listening to like Alan Watts lectures, like trying to piece together like what is everything? Why are we doing all of this? Like what is the meaning of this? Like so what if I go win black belt worlds and become world champion? Like what does that even mean? Like do I really want that? You know, it's like because I'm not struggling out there having to go fucking kill something for food, like I have time to just sit here and think and you know, at the end of it, like I'm lucky to have somebody like Jamie with me to like keep me level headed and be like, hey, like listen, like we don't have to make this big stressful thing. Like let's think about what we really want, like, and how we can do it.
I think that everybody probably has some level of that. Like you said, you struggle with like, so what if I do these things? What's going to matter, right? Because like in 100 years we're going to be dead. Who cares? It's irrelevant. And like I try to maintain a perspective that it is irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. Like, my life in 100 years probably won't matter to anybody, and everybody that knew me would be dead anyway. So what's it matter? It's irrelevant. But like, there is
Dark.
What?
Well, it can be.
Yeah, but you can also use that as like motivation. As
No,
a good thing.
well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting to. Like, I kind of hold two perspectives in my head at once. Like, yeah, it doesn't matter, but it matters right now to me because I'm here, right? And so, what am I going to do? Waste my life and it doesn't matter, or do something good with my life and it matters to me now? Who cares if in 100 years it doesn't matter? So you have to find things and assign your own meaning to them. There is no larger meaning. You just have to find what it is and assign meaning to that for you and go do it.
Right.
Yeah, and it's a good mindset to practice too, because whoever you're impacting or raising as a child could be that 1% that makes an impact in the world. Right. That's
Definitely.
like the person who, like a Tesla or somebody who comes up with something great that changes the world. So it's not the wrong mindset to
and
have.
you change. I always thought, like, these people that like save the world, do this, like, I always thought you change the world in smaller ways. Like, you know, if you like us, if we're all, you know, like you said, somebody looks up to you, to me, to Terrence or whatever, like, those guys are always so nice, or what they talked about was good, and then it filters out. It catches to one person,
Ripple
like, you know,
effect.
like you hold the door open for one person that day, and they're like, cool, that was awesome. Then they do it to the next person, the next person, the next person. It's just, that's how you make impacts. There's smaller ways that you probably don't even know, and not like going to clean up, you know, 8,000 miles of ocean. Like,
Dude, I talk about this with Jamie talks. We talk together about this all the time, about just how, like, even like small acts of kindness can really change the world.
Yeah.
You know, it's and just like you're saying, that rippling effect, like, you can, you know, reach out and touch the universe and have an effect little by little.
My
those
old
things
boss,
are contagious.
My old boss used to say pennies make dimes and dimes make dollars. You know, like, about like little things around them pizza place, but like, you know, it's like that same thing. Like, all the little things add up in the long run.
It reminds me of a story. Lisa and I, like a couple of summers ago, we were shooting down to Shorefront Park down the block, and we're on our bikes, and we're on the sidewalk, and there's this dude like up ahead, and like he was just like a hard looking dude, you know, just one of those guys that like maybe you would think twice about like messing with or whatever. So as we're getting closer, he's like ice grilling us, staring us down. So right as we're about to pass, we lock eyes, and I'm like, hey man, how you doing? And then we drive past him on our e-bikes. Within like 5 seconds, we're now like 50 feet away, 30 feet away.
Damn, you cruising.
Yeah, we got the e-bikes, baby, come on. So then you hear, yo, I'm good. Yo, I'm good. We turn around and the guy's hands up in the air. Yo, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, the ripple effect, man.
Yeah.
So maybe next time somebody passes him.
He's probably so caught off guard because, like, I mean, in New York, nobody says hello.
Correct. So maybe that would be a ripple effect where that guy now would say, what's up to somebody else? Instead of giving that mean stare down, that mean mug look, just, hey man, how you doing?
Yeah,
you know?
it changes the whole fucking day, man.
Yeah.
That, like, you know, you think about it, when something makes you feel bad and you carry that negative emotion around with you, then you start giving it out to everybody else, and then they're going to do that to the next person. It really has a big effect. You know, not everybody could just like turn it off and be like, all right, you know, I'm feeling bad, but I'm just gonna be nice. You know, like,
Right.
When I was going through the 023, you know, like their course, that was like one of the questions. So like, you know, through the mindset thing, they would basically give us questions like that would make us think about ourselves or you know, whatever. And something like that was the question. It was like, when you get you know, when you're like angry or mad or whatever, like not in the right state of mind, like, you know, we only think of it as ourselves, but like, who else does that, you know, hurt?
Right.
Or who else does that affect, you know?
Right.
And then it's like, you're thinking, it's like, damn, it's like, yeah, you know, I'm an asshole. And it's like, well then, you know, like whatever, like maybe my friends or you know, Bree or the person who's serving me, you know, whatever. And it's like, yeah, and then it makes you think like, all right, well, my mindset is not just about me, it's about other people also.
Yeah.
I think about this all the time. I remember reading something years ago about traffic. Like, one person stopping short and tapping their brakes for a few seconds on the expressway has a ripple effect for like 18
I saw
miles.
that.
Yeah.
It affects traffic, and it could slow things down for like up to 18 miles. So you might think like you just tapping that brake is irrelevant and doing nothing.
So
but
keep that foot on the fucking gas.
All gas, no brakes, baby.
That's it. Is that what you're saying?
yes.
Stay in the fucking right lane if you're
But,
gonna
like,
tap on your brakes.
That's a really cool
Yeah,
analogy.
that's
that
really cool.
effect,
18
man,
miles,
you don't
that's-
realize it, you know. So
you'd never think of it.
you put that out to whether it's just being nice or being inspirational to somebody, or on the flip side being a jerk, like that goes out into like unquantifiable territory. You have no idea how far out that ripples out through the course of your day, let alone your life.
They should teach that in driver's ed.
I like that. Right. Well, not even the driving aspect, but the
mindset.
I like that.
That's always stuck with me.
Yeah,
because I'm like, really, dude? Like 18 miles if I just tap my brakes? That's fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, you saying what's up to that guy? Who knows, man? Who knows how far that went? You know?
No brakes, baby.
And like, I remember Eric Ott actually told me something a long time ago too. I was like being self-denigrating at one point, like kind of.
I'm a loser.
Like, I was just downplaying. Somebody was like, dude, you did really good. You're like a good fighter. And I was like, I suck, whatever. And Eric Ott's like, dude, don't ever talk like that. I'm like, what? Not even, yeah. He's like, you have no idea what that person who was giving you props, like, they might not be physically capable of being what you think is mediocre, and they might look up to you. It's like, now what do you think that does to that person? Now they think like, oh, he thinks he sucks, what am I?
What about
me? And I was like, holy shit, I never ever thought of that. He's like, yeah, don't do that. And that's always stuck with me too. You know, like, you don't know what that other person is or thinking, and like, maybe somebody for whatever reason looks up to whatever you just did, and if you're like, I suck, and then they're like, fuck, I must really suck. So,
that's why people like Terrence are as nice as they are, and as compassionate as they are about other people. Like, everybody always talks about how he's like too nice, but like
way too nice.
He's not too nice, man.
Nah, he's Terrence.
I don't think
Terrence is himself.
I think that this goes along with what we're talking about.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right.
You know?
You're 100% right.
Yeah, I try to be nice to people.
The mood.
I always try to be nice to people, but
me too.
I feel like there's a certain point where you have to protect yourself though as well.
Well, it's a balance. It can't just be all fucking.
That's what this young grasshopper needs to learn.
No, but like on the road and stuff, like if someone's driving slow, like I try not to do like road rage shit. Like that could be someone's like mother or daughter or grandmother, So like I wouldn't want anyone to treat like any of my people like
or like, what if I always thought about too, like if you see somebody speeding around, you're like, that guy's a dick. It's like, maybe that guy's got an emergency.
Dude, the other day I was going 80, and then I looked down. I was actually going 81 miles per hour, and this motherfucker's flashing the brights at me. I was like,
my bad.
I was like, dude. I was like, if I go any faster, I'm going fucking Back to the Future, dude. Like, fucking go around.
1.21 gigawatts ain't cheap.
Dude, going back to what Terrence was kind of saying, I hate when like you're behind somebody and they're, they're being slow, and you're like, get the fuck out of the way, and then you go to pass them and it's like an old lady and you're like, fuck, I can't even feel bad right now.
You feel like an asshole.
You don't even see their head. They're like so
as soon as you get up to the side, it's like, oh fuck, it's an old lady. I can't even be mad.
You just see the hands up at like 2 and 10. You're like, oh my bad.
On the flip side of that though, and I think this is way worse, you ever be in the car and you just see the side profile of some girl, you see the hair, you're like, yo, she might be hot, then you roll up and you're like, oh,
you're like, what the fuck?
She's not good looking at all. Like, dude, I got fooled.
It's a dude.
I was just gonna say, or it's a dude.
Or you just see like a good looking girl and she like lifts her armpit and there's fucking armpit hair or something.
Oh god.
HP.
Bring back the armpit hair.
Whoa. Turn his mic off.
All right, get him out of here.
Dude, you got to keep in mind what we were just talking about. That might have a ripple effect. We can't let that get out there.
Ladies, do whatever you want to do, all right?
Yo, is it? That's
do
so
whatever you
wild.
want to do as long as you shave all your shit off.
Dude, it's so wild that like if a dude shaves his armpit hair, he's sus, but if a girl has armpit hair, it's like, oh, it's disgusting.
Yeah, it's weird how the world has like turned things. That's what it is, man.
Yeah, it's a double standard. Right?
Yeah. I think we should all shave our pit hair.
I do.
Instead of everyone having pit hair, I would think everybody.
Dude,
like
I've done that before. It's uncomfortable.
It's so uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable.
It acts as like ball bearings. Like
It's
like
I think it's more uncomfortable to have hair.
Makes me more aerodynamic when I fight.
I'm wearing a kimono, dog.
See the chiller than you.
Kimono, dog.
That is so funny. It acts as ball bearings.
Yes.
Dude, I feel like I sweat a lot more if I have like
hair.
if I don't shave my armpits.
Probably true.
Well, you probably if the hair is not absorbing the sweat, so you probably think you're sweating more.
Isn't it? It's like meant to carry your pheromones or something like that. There's like a biological like need for it.
Yeah, it's wild that like it's body odor, but it attracts like other like animals and like women and stuff. It's crazy.
You ever
smells
read?
disgusting.
There was I remember reading about this years ago and being like blown away. There was like studies done on women that were on birth control. because birth control like inhibits their pheromone receptors. So there's women who were on birth control when they met like their significant others, and when they came off of it, were completely unattracted to them.
What?
Yeah,
That's wild.
I remember my ex-girlfriend.
I think I met Bree before.
We had just gotten back together, and when I found this out, I'm like, when we met, were you on birth control? She's like, no. I was like, all right, we're in the clear. But yeah, birth control, certain ones, not everyone, I don't think, but they inhibit pheromone receptors. And when the woman would come off the birth control, that pheromone receptors back on and completely turned off to their significant other.
And that's crazy because it goes back to what we were saying before, how like technology is way ahead of how we're programmed.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
we're still very much programmed like from back in the day, like caveman shit. And it's wild.
You're not outsmarting biology.
No. That's
No.
wild, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So like anybody out there listening, better check on your girl.
Text. Send her a text.
Oh my God. Yeah, so I think the winter is finally here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cold this morning.
Oh.
I got to go snowboarding yesterday.
Oh yeah.
That was a good time.
How was that?
Where'd you go?
We went up to Camelback, and so I haven't snowboarded in probably fucking 10 years, maybe more. And I had the same snowboard from back then.
Did
It's
you
been
used to do it a lot?
I used to do it all the time, but it's been sitting in my shed for the last 10 years. So I didn't wax it or anything.
Oh,
I
so it
didn't.
was probably like slow
Dude,
shit.
Did you
no,
oil check it?
I did, but so it didn't slide. Like literally wouldn't slide on snow because it got all icy and shit. So
Yeah.
we didn't even get down the mountain. We're just going up the bunny hill to get to the main area. Go up the lift, and I'm about like you put your snowboard down. My board doesn't go, so the
Yeah.
lift just pushes me, and I just fall down that fucking thing. I break the binding, the board. I'm like, what the fuck? I roll down the lift. We didn't even get down the mountain yet.
That's so funny.
I would have paid to see that.
Dude, oh, it was fucking great. I wish I was on the lift with Gio. I wish he would have took a video. So then, whatever. I go. We fix the binding. I get a quick wax and all that shit, and then
Quick wax.
yeah,
on the
Top.
bottom of this.
yeah. No, it was good.
Thought you meant your butthole.
Yeah, I mean that too. Oh, and then we eventually got up. Nikki Vegas is a fucking great snowboarder.
That guy's good at everything.
Ex-professional.
Like, yeah.
There's nothing he's not good at. It's disgusting.
None of us really knew what we were doing, and he's awesome, dude. He took the time, showed everybody like how to do it and all that. But
Who else went? Was Eric there?
no, Eric went up to like
Eric's in
Vermont or
Colorado.
something. Or Colorado.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. No, it was me, Macus, Gio, and Nikki Vegas.
That's awesome.
I think Rick's out in
Rick's in
Vermont,
Utah
right?
or something.
Yeah, he went to Utah
Yeah, I
last
think
year.
so. I think he went somewhere like that.
Yeah, they went either Utah or Colorado.
Yeah.
So your body's pretty beat up there.
Dude, I'm so sore.
Yeah.
This shit's not like when I was a teenager.
No, dude.
Like
Father time, bro.
it's
Undefeated.
I almost didn't wake up.
Undefeated.
I almost didn't come in this morning because I was like, "Fuck, I can't get out of bed right now."
Oh, that
Wow.
bad?
Yeah,
Dude, you see
oh,
this
it's-
guy standing up, dude?
Nah.
Yo, I gotta
No, it's
say,
bad.
after snowboarding for the first time, it is rough. Like,
Yeah.
Even the first time, like every year, that first time you go, it's,
I feel like I got hit by a truck right
yeah.
now.
Yo, 'cause
It's like thinking about back.
It's
Go ahead.
crazy because like what you said, like after the first time, you kind of get used to like the falling, right? Because that's what it is. You guys aren't talking like, oh man, after the first time because your legs are sore. It's from falling, right? Like
Your legs get sore.
No, I
Well,
didn't.
they-
I only fell the one time.
Oh, so
'cause
you're
of-
just sore from?
I'm just sore from
snowboarding.
actually
You use
snowboarding.
all of your muscles, but
Mac
to twist
is
and turn.
Dude, the first time we go up, he's going down, and we didn't know that he's never done this before. So we go down, and he's whatever. We all just go, and we stop halfway, and we're like, dude, where the fuck is Macus? Took him like 20 minutes because he kept falling down the whole way.
Oh my
He was
God.
like, he comes up to me, he goes, dude, this fucking ice is hard.
Yeah.
Now,
He's
not
like-
one of you guys thought to videotape any of this?
I
Right?
know.
We videotaped, like, I tried to videotape a little bit, and that was actually the only time I almost fell because I'm trying to focus on the camera and I can't focus on
It's
what I'm
hard to
doing. And I'm
do
like,
that.
holy shit. I was trying to videotape Gio. Nikki Vegas took a video of him going down, but it wasn't like videoing anybody.
There's a little POV, right? He was just
Yeah,
like,
it's hard to
falling
like, it's hard to
To
use
think
your
of
phone.
doing something
Yeah.
else while you're snowboarding. I know. I've done that too, where I'm like, yo, and then catch an edge and fucking
Yeah.
face plant.
Didn't that just happen last year? I
Yeah.
think you were
down.
running or
That's
some
hilarious.
shit.
Yeah,
It's so funny.
We went skiing like maybe like 5 years ago, and Lisa's never done any of that. She's like never rollerbladed. She's never like did any like
extreme sports.
I guess so, yeah. So we took the boys. It was me, the boys, and Lise, and like we went down the bunny hill a couple times, and like she got the hang of it. I tried to teach her how to carve, but like they tried to tell her to like point her toes like a
Pizza. French fries.
Yeah, so it's just like I don't know if that's like a real smooth move. So whatever. So we go down the hill. And my nephew Liam just keeps wiping out. He keeps coming off. He's like crying. He's frustrated because like me and Joel are like moving pretty well, and he just feels like, how come I can't get this? So I'm like buckling his ski back into the his boot back into the ski. So Lisa's like, all right, I'm going down the hill. I can't do this anymore. Like I just want to get this over with. So we just see her go, and like it was the funniest shit because she had like her hat on with like a hair bun underneath it. And she just goes straight, and you just see her bouncing, and her hair's going all over the place. She loses her hat, and then doosh, she disappears. She's gone. She went down the hill. So like 5 minutes goes by, and she calls me. She's like, yo, where are you? I'm like, I'm up the hill with Liam. I'm trying to put his fucking boot back in the ski. I'm like, where are you? She's like, I'm at the bottom already. I'm like, you're at the bottom?
She just French fried it the whole way down the mountain.
She didn't even call,
straight
bro.
fries.
I'm like, how did you stop at the end? She's like, I just fell over. And I'm like, are you kidding me, man? Like, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
I'm with you. That was my experience snowboarding. I just bomb, fall.
Oh.
That was the first time I ever went snowboarding. I go down the bunny hill, and I didn't know how to stop, so I just threw myself down, and I fucking tumbled probably like 10, 15 times.
It's just dangerous, man.
See, like it's just like anything. It's super fun when you're good at it. You know, it's like going to jiu-jitsu and not knowing any moves. You know, it's like how fun can it really be?
Oh, dude, it was awesome. I haven't been this excited about something except for new vagina in probably since I was a kid.
You were excited about your skateboard.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
I know. I'm so much more excited about this.
Really?
Like, this is like new vagina.
That was short lived. That was short lived. The skateboard.
No, I still do it.
Yeah, right.
I just don't do it here.
Right.
Speaking of that, there's actually a
Boys
question
trip?
I have.
Oh,
We could do that too. But I was gonna say, I'm curious about what your other habits are, Danny, outside of the gym, because that's something that I feel like as the years have gone on, I've been looking for new fun habits outside of the gym because I got so like, creature of habit and obsessed, like where it's like all we did. And now also as you get older, it's like, the body hurts a little bit more. Like me and Nick and all of us, obviously we use chess as like one of our habits, like another hobby outside of the gym.
Okay,
You got anything that you do outside of the gym?
Like specifically like to help with jiu-jitsu or just like shit?
No, just another hobby, just
Something
another
you like to do for fun.
Yeah,
well,
just
I mean, obviously, like I like my like rest and relaxation, like hanging out with Jamie. Just chilling, chilling with the boys at Kava, the boys and girls.
I know you're
but
listening.
also on top of that, all like the training I did with B Remy, like learning all like the functional stuff we learned, like rope flow, steel mace flow, all the landmine use stuff, like that stuff is fun to me. So like if I'm ever just like at the gym and class is done and I'm just kind of like chilling around, like I'll just start messing around with all that stuff because there's a lot of new skills that B Remy taught me, a lot of just new ways to move your body that also helps supplement or complement the jiu-jitsu training, so that's the type of stuff I like to do.
Yeah.
If you're looking for new exercises, this guy's got a lot of
the
good
rope
stuff.
flow is fun.
yeah.
It's so
it
fun.
is fun, dude. I was kind of skeptical at first, but
That's what I like about it.
I wish we would have recorded you doing.
Oh my god, that was so fucking funny.
That story is hilarious.
The double.
Yeah, there's a
The
move.
rowing.
Yes, that's the best way.
It's like what's the guy in Star Wars that has the two fucking lightsabers?
Darth Maul.
Oh, Darth Maul.
It's like that.
Yeah, D-Rock's sitting there, like Remy and I were trying to do the move. D-Rock's doing like just like the basic like rope like flowing. So he's like, let me give that a shot. So you basically have to put your two hands somewhat together. You have the two ends of the ropes on either side of your body, and you have to catch it like a certain way.
It's almost like you have to like think about like like kayaking. It's
Yeah.
almost like that,
Yeah.
like that same motion.
Yep. So here's D-Rock, and he's like all in, and the fucking at the end of the ropes, there's knots for like grip, so you can grab him. So he's sitting there, and he's going, and these knots are fucking hitting his leg, hitting his chest. You're hearing some grunts like and then like within like 4 seconds, he gets it. I got it. He's fucking doing it, man. That was the funniest moment.
So fucking
Just had to
funny.
power through.
Yeah, you had to power through. That was the funniest shit ever, man.
Yeah, but that stuff, it's fun, and it like brings people together. You know, it's like like you said, it's another hobby that you can do that's not like
We like equated it to skateboarding,
Yes.
right? Because like skateboarding is like you're trying to learn one move, you're doing like 100 reps of it to figure it out, and then eventually you
Right.
get it, and you're like sick. You know what I mean?
Right,
Then it becomes a part of your flow.
you might spend that whole session,
Right, on
skate
one
session
move.
on one move. You
Yeah.
know, same
But
thing.
once you got it,
Where one of us will come in like, yo, underhand sneak, yo, I learned how to do it, and then boom, then 2 days later, all of us know how to do
dude,
it.
I was trying to
Underhand
underhand
sneak.
sneak for a month, and then I thought I had it. I show these guys, and then I'm like, as I'm showing, I'm like, fuck, I don't think they did. But then like a week later, they're like, yo, we think we figured it out. And then Nick was showing me, and then fucking now I got it. And
Yeah.
like, it's,
We should rename the oil check to the underhand sneak.
Oh my
That's your
God.
move, bro. The underhand sneak.
The underhand sneak.
That's a good, yeah.
I love
Is it fine? That's
roping
fine with me.
because it reminded me of like using nunchucks when I was younger. I got into like the whole like ninja scene.
Yeah.
That's what I was picturing. One of those little
the whole
kids
scene?
fucking.
I
hit
had
themselves.
Kinda
like
like that.
throwing knives. I had the ninja stars, the Chinese ninja stars. I actually had like a tree climbing set, dude. They were like these like bear claws that like go into the palm of my hand, and I tied it on the back, and I had these things for my feet. I got a picture at my house, dude. I'm like 15 feet up on a straight tree trunk, dude.
That's sick. I need that for hunting.
Climbing up it, yeah. So it reminded me of that, and the roping also reminded me of juggling.
Yeah.
You know, because you're doing different moves, like you're constantly moving. You find like a rhythm, a flow, and like
Yeah, it's the same thing as like the hand-eye coordination, and like you're getting, like you said, rhythm, flow, and
Yeah.
a lot of the same benefits.
Yep. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool, man. I love
Brain
it.
activity,
Yep.
a lot of that. And
Yeah, but with the cold, it can be much roping outside,
yeah, well,
all indoor.
at the gym you can.
The gym, there's plenty of space.
I
for
was
that.
I was just saying to I did like a little interview with one of the other strength coaches that I know the other day, and I was saying that how like it's nice to be able to go to jiu-jitsu, and like if I bust my ropes out, like nobody's like, what the fuck is this kid doing? It's like
Yeah.
everybody's like, I go to the gym and other people are roping. I'm like, yo, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
It's cool.
No one's looking at you sideways.
Yeah.
So earlier you said that you worked at the California.
Pizza Kitchen.
Yeah. So were there any weird jobs that you ever had prior to that? Or I mean, anybody can answer this question.
Weird jobs.
Yeah, because there's some weird ass jobs. We have a homeboy that comes here, and his job, he works at Toast, but his other gig is to go and pick up bodies after people pass away from their house.
Fuck.
And I thought that was
creepy.
An extreme.
Somebody
job.
got to do it though.
Right.
Who's doing it?
Right.
Not me.
Yeah, no, I never had any.
Definitely
I got-
always in business too.
Right.
I got a funny story about that. Where it's a Wednesday. I go out to get a slice of pizza, and I see my buddy who owns a Chinese store. He's hanging out with a guy who owns a few morgues, and we're partying all night. He got me to stay out. It's like 3 a.m, and this guy's fucking hammered. He's on all kinds of drugs, and he gets a phone call. He's like, "Fuck." We're like, "What's going on?" He goes, "I gotta go to the airport." I'm like, "What do you do?" He goes, "I gotta go pick up a body. Somebody's grandma just died. I gotta go get her in an hour."
Oh, so he did what like Dylan did.
Yeah. Well, I guess he didn't have a guy like Dylan. He would go and pick him up himself.
Yeah.
Dude's fucking out of his mind right now, and he's got to go grab somebody's grandma from the fucking airport.
Insane. Yeah, when Dylan told me that, man, I was just like, wow, there's so many fucking crazy,
Crazy jobs.
Does he still do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, Dylan
Currently,
from Toast just
yeah.
goes picks up dead bodies?
Yeah, he worked for like a funeral home or a funeral director, and like they only do it like for like hospice patients, people who are like just kind of they're at the end of their life, and like they're trying to keep them comfortable, so they probably got. And then when
It's a whole thing set up at their house.
yeah, so then when they pass, he comes with like him and somebody else. They
Scoop it up.
scoop it up, put it in a bag, and
Bring it to the
funeral home, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many weird jobs out
Yeah.
there that you don't even know existed. Like,
So, oh no.
No, go ahead.
No.
My job's not weird, but it's just an industry that I didn't even know, and most people probably don't even know it exists, but it's a fucking multi-billion-dollar industry. When I was younger, I used to do industrial battery installations and maintenances. Like, so if you're a big company like a bank or whatever, the power, when the power goes out in a building, it takes 15 minutes for the generators to kick in, right? So that's like 15 minutes of downtime. So these batteries fill that gap.
Oh, cool.
And it's like literally, I mean, this shit doesn't happen often. It's really just like an insurance policy of if this happens, and it's something I never even knew existed. And it's this huge industry. Every company, every big building, like every big building in every city has them. In one way or another, even smaller ones that have these little backup critical systems, and it's an industry that most people probably don't even know exists.
Yeah,
but it's huge.
Yeah, I even think about I know it's not anything crazy, but like people who go and pick up your dog shit at your house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
scoopers.
Yeah, people are making money left and right. You got a guy flying around in a car. You pay him. He comes into your backyard, scoops all your dog shit up, and leaves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he goes to how many houses for like $10-$20 and just picks up your dog shit.
Yeah,
and goes.
dude, it's ridiculous.
Easy
man.
job.
That job took me to some cool spots too, man.
$10, bro.
I went to some real cool places. I was in the vaults at the Federal Reserve.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
that's probably the coolest one.
I worked when I was younger. I worked for this guy. He kind of did restoration and stuff like that. So he calls me and my buddy up and he's like, "Hey, you guys want to work tomorrow?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Where are we at?" And we were in Brooklyn, a KFC in Brooklyn. So I'm like, "All right, bet." So me and my buddy, we fly out there. We took a personal car. It wasn't a real legit company with actual work trucks and stuff. So we get out there and he's like, "All right, yeah, pipe burst downstairs. We're gonna have to clean up the basement of this KFC." All right, cool. So we go down there, and it was a waistline that busted.
Oh, damn.
It was a huge basement.
Shit
too.
pipe.
That's a
shit
shitty
pipe.
job.
Dude, the basement had to have been the size of Cava.
Ugh.
So I walked down there, and I'm like, oh my God. It was
I would quit.
It was an inch of shit on the floor.
I would just, you know what? Sorry. It's the same
Dude,
for me.
Yeah, and I was young, so I didn't even know I had that option. I was like, fuck, I got to do this. You know what I'm saying? Now I would have been like, dude, not for me. So we spent pretty much all morning to noon scooping shit with a flathead shovel, throwing it into construction garbage bags, the black ones, dude.
Oh.
And dragging them upstairs.
Did any of them break on the way out?
Nah. And then throwing them on the sidewalk. We had
Just leaving that shit.
Dude, we had 40
Literally.
bags lined up on the sidewalk
God.
right in Brooklyn or wherever we were, dude.
Oh.
Gross, dude.
We got the day was done.
That's got to be against a
it has
violation
to,
now.
bro. It completely had to, but that's so
That's
not
so
right.
fucked up.
Yeah.
So then we get done. I think he paid us $150, $200 for the day. And he's like, "Yeah, if you guys want to come back tomorrow, we still got some stuff." I'm like, yeah, give me a call. Yeah, I get in the car. I threw my boots out on the sidewalk, my pants. I literally rode back to Long Island just in my underwear and a shirt.
I would do the same
Yeah,
thing.
you
Oh
don't
my
want to take
God.
that shit in your car.
No,
Yeah.
fuck no.
That's
dude.
not going away, right?
You know what that just reminded me of? Is something I forgot I even did probably 15 years ago. I did 2 random jobs. I did it for 3 days. I worked with this Christmas light company where you go and set up the Christmas lights on other people's houses.
That's pretty dope.
It was pretty cool. And then I also did evictions. I did evictions for 2 days.
That's right. You had that crazy story about up in Sound Beach.
Yeah, all those bungalows. I forgot about that.
Bungalows,
What'd you
the
do with
small
evictions?
houses.
We so my buddy Justin Dower, I don't remember who he knew, but his buddy had this service, and you get contracted out by the sheriffs because the sheriffs do evictions. If you're getting evicted, the sheriffs show up, but they hire a crew that comes in and takes all your shit out.
Oh, okay.
And so that's what I did. We rolled around with the sheriffs, and we went to all these houses and just took all their shit, threw it out front, moved on to the next one. It was fucked up. We were getting protested and shit thrown at us.
Yeah, you're there to do your job.
Yeah, I was 20, 21.
Repoing's probably a wild job.
Yeah.
Being a repo man.
Yeah, that's
You
crazy.
know?
Or bounty hunter.
Bounty hunters.
Yeah.
What actual rights do those guys have? Are they contracted by the police
The
department?
bounty hunters?
Yeah, we're talking about
I think
dog?
I think they're kind of like a private detective. You get an actual badge for that. I think you get some level of a badge, and I think the police department gives you the contract to go collect if the bail jumper, if they jump bail, I think they give you the contract for it. I think
to
You
arrest
have
them.
to.
to bring them back. Yeah, well, yeah, I guess basically
You
arrest
have
them.
to do 3 years before you become. You have to do 3 years with an actual bounty hunter before you could become a bounty hunter.
Really?
Oh, you got to do an apprenticeship?
Yeah, because actually, me and a buddy looked
That's so
into
weird.
it because I don't remember why, but we're like, dude, let's become fucking bounty hunters. And we looked into it, and you need to
We
work.
do jiu-jitsu, bro. We can do this.
You need to work as an apprentice bounty hunter for like 3 years before you could get your bounty hunter license or whatever the fuck it was.
It's like what
That's
do you
crazy.
learn in those 3 years, dude?
Dude, I don't know.
Paperwork,
Like
probably.
you can make a lot of money.
Yeah,
like
if you
even
find
just
a guy.
yeah, even just those like those apprentices or whatever. I mean, I don't know how true it is, but online it said you can make anywhere from like 60 to 100 grand
A year.
a year just as the apprentice.
It's not bad.
That seems like a
It's
rough
crazy.
life, though, dude. You're constantly chasing after people. And
Yeah.
Well, that's what
they're
it, yeah,
never
you
happy
gotta
to see you.
Yeah, criminals who might fucking be
Yeah.
strapped up.
Yeah, for sure.
So, any weird jobs that you've had?
Nah, man. I worked at Wendy's when I was 16. I worked as an expediter / food runner. I worked as a
Nice.
server.
Was that the only place that you worked in California? Like, did you ever
outside
get-
of AOJ?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. I worked at CPK and then I worked at AOJ. And that was it.
CPK had a banging salad that I used to get all the time.
Which one, bro?
I don't remember the name of it.
What had in it?
Grapes. Gorgonzola.
Waldorf?
Yes.
The
That's it.
Oh,
Dude, she was
shit.
banging.
Yeah,
Look
that
at
was-
this
that was
employee.
amazing, yeah.
Still
It was a good
employed.
salad.
Yeah, the Waldorf chicken salad. You're right. Yeah.
Yo, they
She
did
was
a lot of
banging.
good stuff for me, man. They brought me out to California. Changed my life.
What is the CPK?
California Pizza Kitchen.
Oh, okay. Nice.
You know, it's a little abbreviation for us
Yeah,
in
dude.
the, you know.
In the industry.
In the know.
The old industry.
You know what?
In
If
the
you don't know,
biz.
don't worry about it.
Damn, you guys hit me with the old CPK, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yo, the restaurant industry is a wild industry though too. If you ever worked in a restaurant,
Ugh,
like it gets
terrible.
wild back there. Like I remember you said you were at Expo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. If you work back on they used to call the kitchen the line.
Yeah.
Work back on the line. That's prison.
Yeah.
Is it
lot,
really?
Oh, dude, a lot of grab ass
cooks are,
in.
the cooks are wild.
Yeah,
man.
dude.
The cooks
I feel like
Fights.
a lot of cooks
Yeah.
do like mad drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we should-
Because like all the
yeah.
bars and shit are closed by the time like
Yeah.
they get out of work, so they
Yeah.
just like rip drugs.
And it gets
Or,
crazy
I'm
because
saying,
like those
during.
those
Oh,
people
yeah.
in that, like if you're a waitress or a cook or whatever, nobody else has that schedule that you have other than the people you work with. So it gets
Right.
crazy. There's always drama. Everybody's fucking each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
Dude, it's bananas.
You guys
I
see
stayed
the
out all
movie
that shit.
Waiting?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, see that
hilarious.
movie.
Yeah, it's a
Dude,
great
it's
movie.
pretty
so funny.
accurate.
That's what
Yeah.
Lisa said because she was
It
the
is.
same. She grew up in like the whole like food industry. She was a bartender, waitress,
Yeah.
and she said that movie is spot on.
Yeah.
It is.
100%.
I used to be a food runner.
Nice.
Nice.
J&R's.
Oh, nice. J&R's is good, dude.
I like food
Fire.
running. I was a food runner at a catering hall, and like we would just have to set up cocktail hour, break it down, and then we would have like a big gap where we didn't have to do shit until like dinner came out. And we used to take like the golf carts out and whip them around. Like the bartender would pour us drinks. It was like the best job.
That sounds pretty fun.
One of the best jobs. It was awesome. Yeah, one time I crashed a golf cart and I just left it there. Because I'm like, oh shit, like I got it like stuck like into a tree because I wasn't paying attention. Because like,
How do you get a golf cart stuck in a tree?
well, I just like hit it and it kind of like went up on the tree a little bit and it was damaged. And like when I was putting it reverse and forward, it wouldn't really move. So I'm just like, yo, I was just out there and someone fucking crashed the car, dude. someone better take care of this. We gotta find this guy.
Damn, so you were cooking, bro.
Yeah, no, look, it was an electric golf cart. I just wasn't paying attention. I was like, we were riding side by
Yeah, but
side
you
and I hit a tree.
You went up a tree.
Like on the side, like this. I just left it.
It's so funny.
Oh my god! You said a funny story the other day, dude. I was trying to remember to bring it up on the podcast. You had me rolling with some of your stories, dude.
Ooh,
To Google.
Oh, what about the? Oh wait, no, you don't want to talk about that.
no, we could talk about anything.
the
I'm gonna-
Domino's one.
Oh, the Domino's.
The
one.
Domino's.
That's been spoken
Already
about.
been spoken?
it has.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't know what this is.
What, you were on the podcast when we talked about I think this was like last week when I was out. I was like hanging out drinking all day and we ordered Domino's. I'm like, yo, when this guy gets here, I'm
Oh
gonna steal his
yeah,
fucking car.
okay.
Yeah.
I do. I do remember that. I was thinking Domino's the game for some reason. I thought it was like a gambling game.
And he completely finagled himself around like getting in trouble with the law.
Yeah.
But then he got snitched out to his parents.
By my brother, because my brother was scared I was gonna get arrested. So then I got in such deep shit for that.
That's so funny.
Dude, doing shit as a kid, man, there was so much fucked up shit that we've done.
Oh, was it
as a kid.
was it the tunnel story? When everything was connected, like when I ended up in Village 80
Yeah,
at the
that was
basement.
Oh, that's a great
That's
story.
a good
Yeah.
one. Drop that one for the listeners.
Yeah, so one time I was hanging out. It's now
Yeah.
it's now
Yeah.
called Great South Bar, but it used to be called Bellavino, and it was a wine bar. And I had these two
Where
friends.
is that? In the New Village?
No, it's like
On Ocean Avenue.
Yeah,
Just
Ocean,
around
like
South Ocean.
Yeah, straight down.
Okay.
So I was in there, and we had two friends that used to play like acoustic covers, like at all these bars in Patchogue, and we went to this wine bar. We ended up over there, and someone was like, "Yo, I heard a rumor that all these like businesses are connected, like Underground Railroad, like the basements are all connected." They're like, "Yeah, you just go through an exit door." And we were like kind of bored. We were at a wine bar. We don't really drink wine, so we went down there, and we just pushed the emergency exit door open, and no alarm went off. And then all of a sudden we're walking, so we're a couple storefronts down, and we end up being in the basement of the Village Idiot. So we found like warm beers and shit. So we're sitting there like having a beer, bullshitting, and then all of a sudden, this cook, I guess, came down to get something like that he needed from the basement, whether it was like beer or plates or whatever the fuck he was there. He saw us, but he didn't speak any English, and he left. We were like, "Hey, what's up, man?" Like acting like we were cool, like we belong there, but we clearly didn't belong there. So the guy's like, "Oh," so then he leaves, and I'm like, "Yo, we got to get the fuck out of here." So we go to get outside. And then my friend's like, "Oh, I forgot my jacket." And I'm like, "All right." So then we're waiting outside in the parking lot because there was like I don't know, like a cellar, like when you go down staircase to get to like a basement. Like that's what the exit we went out of. And my friend Max went back in, and then we're waiting for him a while. We don't see him. We're like, "Oh, fuck, we got to go. Like someone's going to get us." So we start walking away, and a bouncer, he grabs us, like he has each of our arms. He's like, he's like, "What are you guys doing?" And we're like, "Nothing, we're just hanging out." He's like, "You guys are coming with me." So he grabs both of our arms, this big fucking brolic dude. And my friend Chris looks at me, he's like, "You ready?" And like we were gonna run. The guy just like reaches back and clocks my friend right in the fucking face. And my friend, we're like 23 at the time, my friend's like, "I'm 16. You just hit a 16-year-old in the face." And the guy starts like backpedaling, like, oh my god. So then the cops come.
That's smart. I love it.
The cops come. They throw us in fucking handcuffs, and we're sitting out there in like the fucking freezing cold, and they're going over all the security footage. And long story short, basically we got let off because we didn't really do anything wrong, and it was like their fault that like they didn't have an alarm on the security door. But the guy, the owner of the Village Idiot, that's why I don't really go there. He's like, "I want to throw the book at them for trespassing."
Did he really say the book?
Yeah, he said he wanted to throw like everything.
I want to throw the menu at
he
them.
He wanted us to do like hard time. I'm like, dude, we were just walking around.
Yeah, we got lost. It is cool.
Yeah, you didn't really take it. You just kind of explored.
Yeah. It's really cool down there though. I was down there for cable one year. We were like hooking up one of the units. And they literally connect. The basements connect from like a couple storefronts down Ocean all the way pretty much to Swell Taco.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Wow.
And when you're down there, like
They go
They
to
call those
Toast.
catacombs, right?
You can get from Toast.
Rome.
There's a way to get from Toast all the way over that way too.
it's crazy. Like you go down there and you're like, dude, like I could definitely see like back in the day, like mob hits going on down here, or people like
Or like a speakeasy or
and it's
something.
crazy. Yeah.
I don't know how
Dude,
the rest of them are, but like it's confusing down there too.
I don't remember it being confusing. I feel like it was just like one hallway, but it was pretty dope. I was like, because I love that shit. Like we were talking about the podcast last week, our thing and shit, and like thinking about that, like dudes down there in suits, like having conversations about
Smoking
whatever.
cigars.
Yeah, you know, it's always intriguing.
Yeah.
But that's funny though. You just hit a 16. Yeah, he's like, I'm 16.
That's
so
real
funny.
smart.
Was smart.
The guy got really scared after he heard he punched the 16-year-old. And the guy was so much bigger than us. Like, he could have whipped both of our asses, no problem. And he's like, he's like, "I thought you guys were going to jump me." I'm like, "We're going to jump you, motherfucker?" Like kids.
That is hilarious.
Oh man, that
So
was
dumb.
before the white belt days.
Yeah.
Before you were the people's white belt.
So a couple of guys, man, they're excited. New York is officially legalized
Sports betting.
betting.
Yeah. And it's wild because, like, there's a 51% tax on it. Not for us, but, like, the bookies or whatever. Like, they have to pay whatever they profit 51% of.
Damn, they got to give half.
Yeah,
That's
gross.
crazy.
And there's only
fucking insane.
That's
yeah,
why they legalized it.
Yeah,
Well,
because
yeah.
I know they should have legalized it a long time ago. Like, it's just
Yeah.
sport. Everybody's doing it anyway.
Yeah, so I was always confused because like you always know of guys like using websites to, you know, do DraftKings or whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously they live in New York. So like
My bookie.
what is the difference?
Now
Now that they
It
legalized
just wasn't
it was
state regulated.
it wasn't legal, so like
Well, now you
wouldn't
can
be
put it
able,
right into your bank account, right?
Yeah,
I think you're always able to.
You used to not be allowed.
You just couldn't do it in the state of New York, basically.
Yeah, there's
it just wasn't regulated by the state of New York, where you couldn't legally do it inside of New York.
So guys were running like offshore websites, so like you could put your bets in online, but then you would square up with the guy via like Venmo or Cash App or like one of those things, or just meet up in person and give him money. Now you could legally do it through a sports book, so you can't get in trouble for it now.
I always thought about that because, you know, like the Super Bowl comes around, all these bars have like they do boxes.
Boxes,
and
yeah, they have to
all
write. You ever
legal.
notice how they have to write points? It'll say like 100 points per box because like you're not supposed to be gambling, so they just call it points.
I was wondering about that. It's like everybody knows that's happening.
Yeah, it's been going on. They're dumb for not capitalizing. Same way they were dumb for keeping weed as illegal, like as long as they did. Like, if you could profit, like you could generate a ton of tax revenue and like money for the community. Like, it's silly not to. I get why people don't want casinos though, because if you go to AC, you see there's like cash for gold places on like every corner, and it's like run down, and people don't want that in their town. So I understand that aspect, but like with the OTB, like you're allowed to bet on like horse racing, but you can't bet on sports. Like what is that?
Yeah, that's crazy. You can
Somebody must have getting paid to keep that off the books. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's no when you really sit and think about it, like the benefits of it, like someone's just being paid not to. Same thing with prostitution.
Yeah.
Fucking regulate it and tax it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, they do it in Amsterdam.
Yeah, I mean, and dude, they're doing it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like people are. Alcohol was illegal. People are still drinking alcohol. Weed's illegal. They're still smoking weed. Like,
do you think
people aren't paying for sex or paying on betting on sports? Like, they're still doing it.
Yeah.
You think prostitution is illegal just because it's dated? Like back in the day when people were
It's
really
not legal.
when
It's
people
now
were
it's
really
just been
religious?
decriminalized. Right, where just like 10 years ago they decriminalized marijuana up to a certain point, where like if you had less than an ounce, it was just like whatever, get out of here. Yeah, and that's the same thing with like prostitution now. It's just decriminalized.
I wonder why like prostitution was ever illegal. Like who gives a fuck if they want to?
I think it goes
sex
back
for money. It's gotta be like a Bible thing.
Yeah,
right?
it's like the Quaker shit. Like all of America is based off those like fucking prudent Quaker bullshit. Like that's why like you know. Europe has always been like way more laid back about it, and America's like, oh no, prim and proper Quaker bullshit.
So do you think now that sports betting is legal, they're going to have like things like OTB opening up?
Well, they have OTBs.
They have
but
OTBs.
now I guess you can
play sports.
Actually, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to place sports bets at the OTB.
No, well,
aside from
OTB
horse
is
racing.
for isn't that just track?
Yeah,
off-track betting.
That's just for horses. That's what I'm saying.
Like those places will probably open up books.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Or maybe
but
like there'll be
it's
another
so
bar.
expensive. They have to pay a ton of money on top of that 51%.
Someone's going to do it though.
No, there's like right now there's I think 7 or 9 books like got signed up with New York State.
Yeah, people do it, and people probably now you can actually probably like host. You can host a website in New York that does it.
Right,
you know, like so. Yeah, I'm sure it'll spring up.
Yeah, and talking about crazy jobs, imagine having to be a bookie.
Oh,
I
hunt
know a
people
couple
down,
people
break their
that were.
fucking legs.
Yeah,
I know
dude.
people who were.
My friend's father was.
Those guys are probably real pissed off right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, think about that. I mean, it's great when the guy pays, but then when he doesn't pay, like now you got to go break this guy's legs. Or I was talking to Sean last night, and he said that they'll
They're a
sell the
debt
debt.
collector.
So, like, you know, if I don't want to break someone's legs, but Terrence is that muscle, Terrence will be like, yo, listen, the guy owes you 10 grand. All right, I'll buy it from you for five. And then when he goes to see the guy that owes, it's like, yeah, now you owe me 15.
So it's like the hitman becomes the one who like
I mean,
owed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do that right now legally. You know, like if you go into collections
for medical bills,
they'll bounce that debt around to 10 different collection agencies.
Yep.
The trick is 8 years, bro.
Seven.
Seven?
It's 7.
Oh yeah.
7
Wait for
years.
what?
Because then it expires.
It falls
Like they'll
off your
sell that
credit.
debt around forever, and then it expires. They won't even come after it anymore. I mean,
What?
you can take a hit on your credit score.
Right.
But
What? Even like a credit card and stuff?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yep.
Yes, but
yeah, but
it is
you
your credit. that
it'll
you can't
destroy
buy
your
shit.
credit. Yeah.
Yeah, now you won't be able to get a car. But yeah, it's the truth. And the trick
Well, no,
is,
it
Also
happened to me
apartment,
like 5 years ago. If I would have known that, I would have just fucking.
well, see, this
Your
is
credit would be shit.
You don't
though.
want
Yeah,
that,
it does.
especially
yeah, but
if
after
it's
7
your own
years,
business.
it bounces back.
not that quick. But yeah,
like
so
they
if,
show
and,
them.
and the thing too is that like those debt collectors or whatever, they'll call you up and they'll be like, oh, listen, you know, we whatever, and like you owe like 7 grand, or you owe 5 grand, and you're like, oh, I can't pay it, I can't pay it. They're like, listen, just pay $1 right now, and like, you know, you could work towards paying it off. Just give us $1. You give them $1, that's 7 years.
They interest, right?
No, it starts over. So you owe money 2000. 2007 would be the 7 years that it would fall off your credit, right? You don't plan on planning it. Plan on paying it. Damn. If you give them $1 in 2006, that 7 years starts all
Yeah, it
over.
extends the debt.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny is though, like you were saying, because they'll buy it. So like, say this is the third debt collector that bought your $3,000 debt for $200. They'll be like, all right, you owe 2 grand. Just give me 5. We'll call it even.
Yeah.
And they'll wipe out your debt. So you can kind of bounce it around till it gets lower.
Yeah.
Yeah, but while your credit gets absolutely fucking shellacked.
Destroyed. And credit's so much more important than money in the bank.
It is. They say
It's
like,
crazy.
yeah, buying
Really?
power is more important than having actual cash in
Yep.
hand.
Yeah, because it's trust. Because people can trust you.
Yeah. Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy because you think it's like the almighty dollar that's going to pave the way, and it's really just that stupid ass number.
Unless you have enough money to just outright buy
buy shit cash.
Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
that's
what you
that's the
have
whole
to
like
do.
fractional fiat banking system. Like all currency's value is based on inherent debt. You know, so your credit score is based on your debt that you can accumulate and
pay back.
Pay back. Everything is based on debt.
Damn, that's why my credit score is good, because I was so in debt.
I don't think it works that way, but
You kind of missed the moral of that story.
No, like debt to income ratio, like whatever balance you're carrying affects you too. So if you have like a $5,000 limit, if you're over, I think like a 30 or 40% threshold, it negatively impacts your credit.
Yeah.
Not like crazy, like you're making good payments, but like if you're just making a
I
minimum
think they
payment,
said like 10% is the optimal. Like 10 to 20%. You want to keep it at all times. Like, you know, if you have a credit card and it's $1,000 limit, like you want to use it, you want to have something like
$100 or less on it.
Yeah,
or
like
$1,000
every
bucks.
month.
Yeah.
Well, 200.
just get that extra debit card if they're listening. Sponsor us.
What's that?
It builds up your credit. It's like a debit card that acts as a credit card.
Who's they?
Extra.
Extra.
Whatever fucking extra.
Same ones that make the gum.
No.
We do
But
gum and
there
debit
is-
cards
jam
now.
there is- that
there
extra
is
gum,
a credit
sugar-free?
card. It's a debit card that acts as a credit card, so it builds up your credit.
I thought that if you use your debit card as credit, so when you go to like,
It
yeah,
doesn't build it up.
I think it does. Terry
No.
G, can you Google that?
Yeah, I don't think it does. I think it's
I thought that if you used instead of paying debit and putting your code in, if you just hit credit, it helps out your credit.
but it comes right out of your
Yeah,
checking account.
yeah, same thing with like he was just explaining, you know. Yeah, look into that because I think I was told that and I thought it was true. Hopefully it's true. So Danny, I've known you for a little while, not super long, and in the amount of time that I've known you, you've like done a bunch of tournaments, competitions. Do you have anything planned? Anything that like you're looking to do in like the near future, or are you just kind of going with the flow right now?
It won't help you build credit.
It won't.
No.
All right, that sucks.
Me and Danny had a sick idea the other night about this.
What about doing a
that's-
tournament during the fight? We're not going to do that. That would be for shame.
It'd be like a Craig Jones fucking Donald Cerrone match, dude.
Yeah, I'm registered for ADCC trials in April, but as of right now, like my focus is just trying to get the gym
Yeah, that's a big
finished,
task.
looking
right now.
nice. But also, I've been trying to make sure that I recommit. Like, not that I was ever not committed to this, but like mentally, like recommit to just doing my best for the gym, for the students, making sure to really make sure I'm giving a lot of attention to everybody.
Yeah.
There's a quote I really like. It's from a guy named Jack Cornfield. It's "Tend to the garden you can touch," and it's like, as opposed to like trying to change the world or like show everybody like everything I'm capable of and all that, like really just doing the best I can for the people that are directly around me.
That quote is fucking perfect, dude,
It's
because that's
beautiful,
exactly that quote nails what I was like you just said about like you can't change the world on this huge grand stage. Like you're not going to go cure famine in Africa right now. So like what you can do locally is what. Yeah,
right.
that's a
Affect the
great
people
quote.
around you. Like, you know, if just like we're talking about, like more jiu-jitsu is better for everybody, and it's like, all right, jiu-jitsu, it's great as a broad idea, and I'd love to be able to share everything I've learned and all my experiences with everybody, but you know what you can do because of the internet, but realistically it's like the biggest impact I can have is the people that are with me right now, right around me, you know. So that's something I've been trying to focus on. Like,
Is
doing my best
there
for
a
everybody.
tournament style that you like better than the other ones? Anything that stands out? Because I know I talked to some guys and like they like this style, they like that point system.
So I've never competed under this rule set, or I haven't yet. But I think the fight to win, the who's number one rule set is the best rule set.
Yeah.
I think it makes the most sense. I think it
Clear winner.
Right. It just encourages people to really like fight to dominate and show they're the best. You know,
Right.
like there's no like playing the points. There's no stalling till overtime. It's you win based on positional control and submission attempts, and it's like that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, 100%.
It's funny actually. We talk about how jiu-jitsu is the common thread and brings everybody together. Danny and I were actually supposed to compete against each other before we ever even met.
We were supposed to do a super fight at a Sogi event.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think you ended up getting hurt or something.
Yeah, I fucked my shoulder up like 8 days beforehand.
Oh, it was last minute. Like kind of
No,
last.
I got
minute.
hurt last minute.
That
Yeah,
sucks.
like we agreed to the match, and then I had competed like 2-3 weeks prior, and then I fucked up my shoulder like 8 days before. It was weird, dude. It was weird the way it happened. 'Cause my right shoulder's been bad for a while, but I went to go visit my buddy Justin. We trained at his academy in Brooklyn, and nothing was bothering me. And I was in the shower, and I looked over, and my shoulder was like this fat. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I like went to move my arm. I'm like, okay, this is not good. And I had to have, what do they call it? They have to fucking
Drain it.
Yeah, they have to stick a needle and suck all the fluid
The
out.
bursa?
Yeah, I retore my
bursitis?
bursa sac.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Dude, that's probably from all the darces and guillotines, man.
Yeah.
Reaching for those angles. It's funny, right? Because it's like
You're
the,
right, I
the
might
game
not
you
even
play.
thought of that.
Yeah, the game you play kind of
Has
Yeah.
pros and cons.
right.
Yeah, that never even occurred
It's
to
like
me.
people who do leg locks a lot tend to have like
Bad
knee
knees,
problems,
yeah.
ankle problems.
Yeah.
Like I played rubber guard for a long time. I fucking like hurt my knee doing that.
You
Like,
just blew my goddamn mind. That never even occurred to me.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's so
for that
funny.
shit.
Yeah.
Yo,
But,
it's crazy how like people come together, right? Like you guys were supposed to compete. Now we're sitting here on the podcast,
Yeah.
chilling, talking.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
I went to school. I grew up in Lindenhurst. I played football, and I was there till I was in 5th grade in Lindenhurst. And then when I moved to Center Reach, I played Lindenhurst in a football game, and Sean was the quarterback. So Sean and I were on.
What?
He
Yeah.
was a QB. I had no idea.
Oh, dude!
Shout out to the QB.
Shout out to the king. Yeah, so Sean and I played against each other when we were in 8th grade.
That's so funny.
Did you guys just discover that recently?
Yeah, like a couple weeks ago.
Holy
awesome.
shit,
Isn't
that's
that
wild.
Yeah, so he was the quarterback. I was the linebacker. So
Did you sack him?
dude, like 15 times.
What was his stat line? What was his stat? Who won?
We did,
Let's go.
dude. And I was also the fullback too. I had this one play, 40-yard trap, right up the middle.
That back is full.
It is full, dude. It is full. I was like a fucking pinball machine, dude. I was just bouncing around all these defenders and shit, and always broke through. But I thought that was wild.
That's
Like,
so
crazy.
I thought that was wild because
Yeah.
we definitely. I mean, like I'm not gonna remember it, I'm sure, but like being a linebacker, like I'm focused on the quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure we locked eyes. I'm sure he's
Yeah.
like looked up and like looked at the players, and we like looked at each other.
Do you think you had, like Lawrence Taylor, like all the quarterbacks were scared of him? You think he was scared of you like that?
I
at
don't
that
know.
time?
I don't know. Maybe at the end of the game.
They're probably always.
I picture you like in the program. What's that guy Alvin? Where he's like he lines up and he's like, yeah, you. I remember you. You the motherfucker that killed my mama. I'm coming for
Yes.
you. I'm coming for you. I
Yeah.
picture you like that.
Well, because it was funny because there was a couple
In the
kids.
water boy?
There was a couple kids on the team that I knew, like this kid Jonathan Kent, this other kid Carl, and I remember they were on the line. I'm like, "Yo, what's up, Kent?" And like looked over at him, like, "Yo, Carl,
That's
what's going
cool.
on, man? You ready for this?" Like just talking
It's
shit,
cool
you
when
know?
you can be like friendly at least. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like even if you're talking shit, but like you're familiar, you're friendly, you're
Yeah.
polite. You understand that you're there to play a game, get a job done. But at
Yeah.
the end of the day, still just
Just playing out
two
there.
dudes just trying to do the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yo, and just to go back to this for a second, 'cause Danny, I want to give you props. Because when that was going on, when we were supposed to compete, I remember the way it happened. I think you had like guys fall out or they couldn't get you somebody, and I remember
Yeah.
I saw like an Instagram post or whatever, and I was like, "Yo, I'll do it." And I'm a brown belt, and you're a black belt, and like you didn't have to accept that match. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people might not do that for like the risk reward ratio,
Right.
and you still did it. So I give you props for that. I respect that because like a lot of people in your position might not have done that.
But thanks,
so,
man. I appreciate it. I mean, I think at the time I hadn't competed in a long time too, and I just wanted to get some experience myself. So I appreciate you taking the
Yeah.
match because.
Sorry, I pulled out.
Nah, it's all good. You want to know what? It ended up working out. I ended up getting a match with this guy Corey. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he's from 10th Planet Montreal, and like, he was competing in the submission only scene for quite some time, and for me to be able to have had experience competing against that guy after not competing for a while and coming from a gi points competition world helped give me some confidence. 'Cause I was like, all right, like I did pretty well against this guy. I think I ended up losing in overtime by ride time. But, I was attacking the whole time. I had a good match and, like, helped bring me the confidence to be like, you know what, like, I can compete in this rule set. There's no reason why I couldn't. And, so you having to drop out, like, I'm sorry you got hurt, but
Yeah.
it ended up working out for me,
Word.
you know, in the end anyway.
Yeah,
So.
That's
but
cool.
like that, it worked out because you did it. You know what I'm saying? Like where if you said no to me, that's it. Now a match doesn't ever happen. You know what I mean? So like,
you know, there's so many reasons why, like especially like whatever, like the nerves, the anxiety that competing brings you. It's like tells you why you don't want to do it, why you can't do it, and you know, just I really wanted to do it. you know, so
yeah, no, I definitely I remember thinking that too. Like even before we met, like, all right, like respect, because a lot of people
would be afraid to put their belt in the line,
Right.
losing to a brown
Yeah.
belt possibly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that whole ego thing. That's
Yeah.
what it comes down to.
ego's a bitch, man.
Yeah, it's a
is.
motherfucker.
It could be your
It
best
is.
friend. It could be your worst enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to have a
You have to have a slight
healthy
degree.
ego.
Yeah.
Healthy ego.
A healthy ego. Yeah, like you gotta, because like especially in our sport, like combat sports or you know whatever, football, whatever, at these high levels, you have to have some level of an ego
Yeah.
for that motivation, but you can't let it.
You got to believe you're better than somebody if you're going
Yeah.
to go compete against them. You
Yeah.
got to believe you can win.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, but you can't let it run wild on you.
Yeah, you need to
Right.
have that thing balanced under control.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it could really fuck your shit up.
Confident but humble.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
What's the quote? It's like whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
Yo, it's wild when you think about that. Like, sorry, Rem.
Okay.
I've often wonder about this because I've seen, like, you see, like, the Conor McGregor types who's just, like, he's
insane
full
right
of
now.
self-belief and
Ultra
almost to a
confident.
point of, like, hubris and shit like that. But it's like, if you don't have that level of, like, belief in yourself, I don't know that you can't, like, that you're going to be able to accomplish those things. And it's like, I wonder, I've seen kids come through the gym that I'm like, that are wildly confident, and I'm like, your skills do not match your belief.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then they go out and they're like, they perform well, and I'm like, holy shit, there's something to that. Like,
Yeah.
in any other scenario, like me, you probably shouldn't have won that, but you just did.
Do you think confidence and ego are the same thing? I kind of feel like they're like slightly
there's
different.
Yeah, there's
They're
nuance
similar,
to it.
but
yeah,
It's the
same but different.
having the skill and knowing that you're capable of the skill, and then over exaggerating your skill, like, you know, I think that's over exaggerating and being like believing that you're this unstoppable force is like ego,
you
and
need
then
to be
knowing
realistic.
Yeah, I think there's a difference, but I wonder how much, like, what I wish you could quantify how much that belief accelerates your performance
Have
or
you-
abilities. Like,
Have you heard that like Mike Tyson quote when he was talking about confidence?
No.
He said like confidence is everything. Confidence alone will supersede a genius. He said like you could be talented, like whatever qualities, and he said like confidence like alone like essentially like beats all that. I'm butchering the quote, but like,
well, do you know that the quote's been all over YouTube, but it's from the Tyson documentary he's talking about when he's walking out to the ring.
Yeah.
He's like, by the time I get in the ring, I'm a god. I'm unbeatable. And you know, I just wish you could measure that, like, you know, and it's got to be different for everybody, obviously,
Right.
but like having that, whether it's delusional or not, that self-belief is like
Powerful shit.
it means something.
Yeah, because Tyson, when he was younger, before he would go to sleep, he was constantly being told by
Cuss.
yeah, that like
motto.
you're the champ, you're gonna be a champ, no one can stop you, and like it kind of like
Brainwashed him, he said.
Thoughts become things.
Yeah, and his belief, you know, like he believed in himself that much because he was told it.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, Conor McGregor's a good example, but I think Tyson's a better example.
Tyson's
for
a way
that.
better example, yeah.
You know,
Mayweather.
yeah, Mayweather I think he just worked
he's
hard,
confident.
man.
I think they're all worked really hard.
Yeah,
though,
I guess
like,
you're
we can-
right.
Like Conor
Yeah.
But I'm
McGregor
saying
works
he
fucking
has
hard.
that
Mike
ego,
Tyson
you
worked
know.
hard as
He,
fuck.
like, you know, whether like Conor McGregor to some extent like used to back it up, not really that much anymore.
He's a different situation though, because McGregor, I felt like they handpicked his fight. So like, was the confidence there because he knew his opponents weren't as good as him, or did he think they were really good and he was just better? You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of controversy around McGregor coming up that a lot of his fights were cherry picked, and he was like kind of like
Speaking about
cherry picking.
No.
Oh.
I was gonna say, speaking about like speaking out. What about Gregor calling out?
Oh, that was dope.
Dude, that was so awesome. Dude, he's making a shirt now. He's making a shirt that says "I'm the wrestler, bro." But yeah, I was real pumped to see that because Gregor
has always been quiet.
not like him.
even like posted interviews like, "Who do you want next?" He's like, "I don't call people out. That's not what I do." And Yeah, he's getting vocal now, which
He's
is
hungry.
great.
That's
Maybe
what it is.
he's-
He's
yeah.
hungry.
He's also
change his
learning that's what
approach.
gets people paid.
Yeah, and he's he's in the top 10 now too,
Yeah.
so he knows
he can do that now.
Well,
Like,
also, not even that, but I'm sure he's getting frustrated because he wants these
Right.
big fights,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
they're sleeping
And they're-
on him.
yeah, exactly.
You know, so it's like, hey, man, like being
you can
quiet.
only. I was gonna say you can only be quiet to until until you can't. You
Correct.
know, and like this is that point where he's got to, because think about it, like. Especially in MMA, like your career is only so long. So
That's
if they
true.
keep fucking
Yeah,
with him,
Gregor's 35.
and not giving him this fight, not giving him that fight, it's like how long can you really be in it? Like
Yeah.
at your peak. So
and
it's
that
like-
was the most Long Island call out.
I know, I know that was so fucking funny.
Can somebody fill me in because I'm not familiar with this story?
Oh, you didn't see it?
I'll play it
No,
right
I
now.
didn't.
I'll play the call out into the mic so you guys can hear it.
Yeah, so I guess Tony Ferguson's been looking for like a wrestler, right? He's looking for.
He was calling out. He was calling out. Tony Ferguson was calling out Michael Chandler, and
Yeah.
it said like wrestling season or something like that. And all the while, apparently, turned down a fight with Gregor. So Gregor, can I play it?
Yeah. Wait, can you?
Just got word again from my manager that Tony Ferguson will not accept a fight against me, bro. And then I see you online, Tony, calling out fucking Michael Chandler, saying it's wrestling season, bro. Dude, you understand, like, I'm the wrestler, bro. I beat the shit out of Mike Chandler in college, and I will fuck you up in wrestling, too. If you're looking for the wrestler, bro, accept the fight, dude. I need to start climbing, and none of you guys seem to want to fucking fight. Tony, me and you are fucking available, dude. We've been available since the same fucking one weekend apart. I fought last, then next weekend you fought the weekend after. It's time, bro. Let's just fucking do it. Call fucking Chandler out because they're fucking wrestling season, huh? Get the fuck out of here, bro. I'm the wrestler. Oh, dude, I just got
I love it, dude.
That
I
was
love
so
it.
good.
dude.
Bro.
A lot of bros.
A lot of bros and
So
dudes.
many bros.
I'm the wrestler, bro.
I'm the wrestler, bro is a great shirt though. Like I could fucking
Yeah,
see
right.
myself
Yeah, bro.
supporting
Look, that's
with
the
that.
very next post.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
really made it.
That's awesome.
He actually he coaches a guy I work with, his son, in wrestling, and Gregor says that this guy's son is like his biggest accomplishment, not because the kid is a state champ, because he has come like such a long
So
way
far.
from like what he was.
Yeah.
Where
What's his
does
name?
he train?
He's at Belmore.
Yeah, my buddy lives in
was-
Oceanside, so
No,
he's
what's his
private.
name? What's the kid?
The kid, Hugh Bittenbender. He's I think
Cool
he's
ass name.
Bittenbender.
I think he's a junior.
Okay.
Maybe he's a senior.
Does
Gregor
Gregor
trains so many
live
kids.
Yeah.
here or does he live upstate?
No, he lives on Long Island.
He does,
But his
right?
family's
Okay.
upstate. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was saying I always see him in Rochester. Like he always fishes on the Great Lakes up
yeah,
there.
he's from there originally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Is he a Wanto guy? Is he in Wanto?
I think so. I don't remember. I think he might have moved. I don't know. Gregor is one of the most interesting people I've ever met, dude. You talk about
him on
like
the podcast.
monastic lifestyle, dude. Gregor,
He was down bad for a little bit. He told me like back in the day he had some issues.
yeah, he had some addiction issues,
Yeah.
but like he's the most disciplined individual I've ever met in my life, dude. Like he told me, I don't even know if I should say this, but I won't say what I was about to say. But anyway, he lived in like a 1-bedroom apartment, like never had a girlfriend, drove this like piece of shit car, and his apartment was literally like a couch, a bed, a rowing machine, and an Aerodyne bike. And like that's all he had.
A rowing machine in there.
Yeah, dude.
That's
And,
awesome.
Like he is the most disciplined person I've ever met. Like
Did he not eat an M&M?
The Eminem
Yeah,
story.
the
That's what I was
Eminem
gonna say. Tell
story.
the Eminem story.
And then like, dude, he's crazy. I would watch him spar 5-minute rounds, take one round off, and then go run sprints. You know, and like on his days off, he'd bike like 300-400 miles. Now he's like climbing mountains. He's bananas, dude.
What was the Eminem story?
They were trying to get him to break his diet and offered him $1,000 to eat one M&M, and he wouldn't do it.
1,000?
1,000.
That's insane.
It might have been.
How could you turn that
Dude,
down?
It might have
Try
been
to
like
do that with
500 or
me,
something
bro.
like that. But like, yeah, they would. He would.
I won't eat that M&M. Offer me the 1,000. Let's go.
I'll eat the bag.
Oh, that's so funny. I mean, I guess it's just to prove a point, really. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, that's probably why he did it. I've always said it too, like with my diet and fasting, like when I could hold back from eating certain things or going to get an ice cream with
Puts you on top of
everybody,
the world.
it makes you feel like that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if it necessarily does, but like for me, it gives me like a high where it's like, yeah, man, I'm mentally strong. Like I
Yeah.
can do this. I'm not like
And
your-
then you physically feel strong, from that.
yeah. Yeah, I just feel like I'm better, like I'm better than like the average dude,
You're
Yeah.
better than everyone.
Well, not
better
about
than
everyone.
your desires.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Overcoming your own desires.
Yeah, and I like the way that
Conquering
makes me
your
feel.
inner bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the way
like
that makes me
your
feel.
feelings don't control you. You do what you want to do
Yeah.
because you want to do it.
Well, that's like one thing that fasting showed me. Like when I did that long fast, that it's like that food is just like you use it in the wrong ways. You know, like you don't need to
It's a
eat
drug.
sometimes. You know, exactly. It's definitely a drug. You know, and sometimes you get addicted to it, and you eat without even realizing it, or you know you might not be hungry. You're just bored.
Yeah.
You know, so you go grab a snack, or
You're trying to
you think
relieve
you're
yourself of
hungry.
that little discomfort.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like I heard someone say that like the reason why people like snack a lot or they eat more is because they're actually really thirsty.
I was just gonna.
Yeah, that's
that was
the
Is
literally
that
my
correct?
next thing. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I was just gonna say sometimes you eat, but you're really thirsty.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fasting teaches you a lot.
I always thought that was weird though. It's like, why would you go for food instead of a drink? Oh no.
My father used to always tell me that, like, "Oh, you're hungry?
You hear that?
Drink
I
water."
heard that, I heard that
Yeah.
too.
What's all that, man?
I don't know.
That's cool though. I mean, I love fasting though. I think it's a strong move.
I feel better most times when I fast. I feel
Yeah.
like
sharp.
once you get like I just
Nah.
you're not
Your blood sugar is stable. That's why.
Yeah,
It
and I
doesn't
don't feel like-
crash and go up
Oh.
and down.
I don't feel like burdened by hunger. I guess at that point, like I realize like I'm good. You
Yeah.
know, like I can get through this. You know, like I don't feel like, oh my god, I have to eat. I'm losing it. And like I remember, did you watch 9 Perfect Strangers?
Yes.
Did you see where they make them fast that one
Fast.
episode? And
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
like losing their minds.
And they're like, what the fuck?
oh, it's been 7 hours. I'm like, dude, that
Oh
ain't
my
shit.
god, that's nothing.
Yeah, it's like, but
Yeah.
dude, these guys are like losing their
7
minds.
hours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
But
like
that's like
freaking
normal
out.
people. You think
Yeah,
they
do you
eat
wake
breakfast,
up?
lunch, and dinner with snacks in between. It's like they
Yeah.
never give themselves, you know, a rest day. And like that's like my big thing with fasting, is that everyone talks about how good, you know, rest is, right? But we don't ever give like our insides rest, right? We have rest days in the gym. We go to relax and revive, do the ice baths, saunas, all that,
Yep.
right? But you never give your intestines time to rest, your digestive system, you know, and doing a fast like from overnight to the next morning is like not enough, you know, because it's still, you know, you wake up, you go to the bathroom, so it's still been digesting. Like you have to give it some rest.
Wow.
But they
Yeah.
say 16 hours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy because like I think about the guys at my job. Like I don't eat breakfast. I skip it every day. I don't like go to the bagel shop with them or grab anything. And by lunchtime, these guys like if they didn't eat breakfast, they're like so moody.
Dude, they're saying
Yeah.
I'm starving, and they say
yeah.
I'm starving. It's like, dude, I haven't eaten since like 5 p.m. yesterday. Like, how
Yeah.
are you starving?
These guys would be like, "Come on, when are we gonna take lunch?" It's like, dude, it's 11 o'clock in the morning. It's like, I'm fucking starving, bro. I gotta eat something. It's just
Yeah.
like,
I
damn.
always push
It's
to
also-
take lunch like later.
It's
so
like
the
momentum,
afternoon goes
too.
quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you get caught up in that momentum of eating like that, and it's just like then it all of a sudden feels off
Yeah,
if you're
It's
not
also
doing
a
it.
That's their
habit, like,
schedule
like-
that
yeah,
they
exactly.
do every day.
You know, you make yourself a creature of habit, and then next thing you know, if that doesn't happen, now it's like, oh my god, like what something's
Your whole
something's
day's
off.
fucked up.
Yeah,
After, yeah. That's what I mean. Like that's why I feel like I'm not.
that's why I like to be chaotic.
Oh,
Gregor just agreed. He goes, that was a real Long Islandish kind of rant, huh?
it really was. It really was.
I'm gonna ask him if he wants to call in. Is that cool?
We're gonna wrap it up soon, dude. It's getting
Yeah,
late.
we're
Alright.
almost.
We
2
got a
hours.
question today?
No question.
Damn.
I threw out some texts.
We got 20 minutes if you want to call him.
Well, I got a question for Danny.
What's up?
So say if you never got into jiu-jitsu, is there anything else that you could see yourself doing, like as a career?
Is there anything else I can see myself doing?
Like, is there
CPK?
anything
We'll have him call next week.
CPK?
D-Rock, have him call next week.
Okay.
Is there anything like I don't know, like hobbies that you would like pursue other than jiu-jitsu?
Man, honestly, fuck, I don't know. Like,
Just say no.
honestly,
No, yeah, it's fine if you don't. I was
not
just
really.
curious.
I mean, like, yeah, I don't think so. I don't
yeah.
think so.
That's
No,
awesome.
cool.
That's
I mean,
like
honestly,
that,
it's good to be like that because then it's like, yeah, you're doing it
I'm
for the
all
right
in on
reason.
what
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
doing.
Yeah.
Right.
That's like when they asked, I forget, those two twins or whatever, those
Oh,
two brothers.
the
Like,
Island
what
Boys?
do you, what do
No,
you
the
do?
Island Boys.
No,
Island?
not Island.
The
Boys.
Hodge
What the fuck you
twins?
talking about?
Oh,
So our guys, no, the two black belts. They were. It's like, what do you do for fun? Jiu-jitsu. Well, what do you do outside?
the meows.
Yeah. Do you do anything else? No.
Just jiu-jitsu.
No.
That's all you need.
I love those guys.
So another question: what was or if you had like a favorite competition, or like your like what was the most memorable moment over your career?
This.
Coming on here. It was well. There's a couple. If I could.
Yeah. Go ahead.
There was one tournament. It was Santa Cruz BJJ Pro. It's like BJJF was holding BJJ Pro events for a while. Like just like if you win, you get paid. And I had only one guy in my division. This is when I was a brown belt, and this guy, he had submitted me in like 3 tournaments prior, and like to the point where like he had me like, it wasn't because of him, but like one of the times he submitted me, like I was questioning my whole life. I was like, fuck man, I committed so much to jiu-jitsu. Like this guy just submitted me in like 30 seconds, and like I was like fucking crying, like depressed about it. And I had another opportunity to fight this guy. When I signed up for the tournament, I saw his name was the only name there, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm doing this. So I had basically like, whatever amount of time to like think about, it's like just this guy, and there was no way in my mind I was losing to this guy again. No fucking way. And I was so dedicated, so committed in my training, like would not let myself take a session off, would not let myself slack on the diet, and or the mindset. I started getting into like spirituality. I was praying a lot, and I had this, I finally had this match with this guy, and I was able to submit him. It was like the build up was crazy, and just that moment was like I felt like I had won worlds at the time. I mean, the guy was a world champion, Abu Dhabi Pro champion, like double gold Abu Dhabi Pro. Like he won Pan Ams the year before. Like the guy was really fucking good, and that was one time, like after that match, like I really broke down crying. Like I'd never felt better than that. And then I'd say that the next like most memorable tournament is probably combat jiu-jitsu. Like it was like the most unique experience I had. It was like the most professional event I had been on.
They did a good job, the event?
Yeah, they did an amazing job. The woman who like organized it, her name is Megan. She's just took care of everything, made it a really great experience. I got to go to Mexico with Jamie, and
it looked so super nice there.
Yeah, it was super nice, and it was like the most like martial artsy thing I've ever done, because like the fact that I could get hit like just changed the whole mindset. Like the whole tempo of the fight was different, or matches I should say, because I had a couple matches. It was just a really good experience overall. Like they really like make you feel like you're doing something real special, and yeah, that was just cool. That was the most memorable.
What did the combat jiu-jitsu experience, how did it like impact your, I guess, practice and philosophy of jiu-jitsu, or did it at all?
It helped me reinforce that what I believed was true all along. Like, not all along, I should say, but like a lot of people tried to tell me like, oh, like combat jiu-jitsu, you definitely want to be on top. Like you have to be on top. You better, you know what I mean? Like that's the only way, like, because you don't want to get hit and shit. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I think that my distance management is like the shit that I learned is really good. And I think that the positions that I'm going to be attacking, like not a lot of people understand them. And that would help me, stay ahead. And it ended up working out for the most part. Like I lost my second match, and I did learn how much the strikes actually do affect the match, because the second match I had, the guy was basically playing combat jiu-jitsu and I was playing jiu-jitsu, and I didn't realize how much those strikes would affect what I actually do. And I wasn't getting hit a lot, I wasn't getting hit hard, but it just made me think about it, and it made me hesitate. And I feel like I learned a lot from that. Like first confirming that like the guard style that I'm playing can be good even in a self-defense situation. And then it just helped me have like even more respect for MMA fighters, for just, I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry. If you were to do it again, would you change your approach to like how you prepare for it? Like now having that under your belt, like even making the things that work even better, like with those little adjustments and shit like that?
Yeah, I think that I would definitely have at least, a handful of days where people are really hitting me as hard as they can, or at least like 75% or 60%, something like that. Because it just getting tapped, like it does make you aware that stuff is there, but it doesn't have the same effect on you as far as
Doesn't make you respect.
doesn't make you respect it. Like, and
Doesn't give you that adrenaline response either, right?
Yeah, exactly. And prepare you for preparing yourself for impact. You know, like you have to change your posture and you have to change the just engagement of your body when somebody's going to hit you hard. You know, yeah, that's
If you're not getting hit, then you don't have to like practice that.
right. And just like, you know, like the guard posture that I'm holding, like you don't always have to like engage your core as much as you would if someone's gonna hit you in it. Like in my first match, like the guy hit me pretty hard in my stomach, and I felt myself go, and then I was like, holy shit, like I wasn't ready for that. And so I just kind of kept my frames up for a little bit until I could recover, and yeah,
it's pretty neat that you did the combat jiu-jitsu, because we were talking about it before you like were going in, and it's like, you know, the whole striking aspect, it's like it makes you open up your eyes, like, okay, I'm vulnerable from here, I'm vulnerable from there.
Yeah.
And it just gives you like a different look on everything as well.
Yeah, and I think that too, it helped me feel a little bit more confident, like teaching people who are worried about self-defense situations and stuff, and
Or MMA.
Or MMA, yeah, as well, exactly.
Yeah, because that's like a big conversation with a lot of people. It's like, oh, it's a self-defense sport and stuff like that, but it obviously works in any condition, you know? Especially like because you went through it with the combat jiu-jitsu.
Dude, they were allowed to hit me, and like I was able to use Berimbolo in that situation. Like I was able to use leg locks in those situations. So
and you got some strikes off too.
I got some strikes off too.
How did that feel?
Yeah.
That felt amazing, man.
Three of us at the same time.
Yeah, that felt amazing. It was really fun.
Was that something that you didn't expect? Like, oh shit, this is fun hitting people.
Yeah, well, dude, when I got on top, I went for like an inside heel look on the first guy, and he like rolls out. I end up being able to use it to sweep, and then I'm on top, and I'm like getting ready to start trying to pass, and then I look at the guy, and I just think for a second, like I should fucking hit him. And you see, there's a pause where I look at the guy, I'm on top, I take a breath, and I'm just like, and I was like, and then I start doing it again and again, and I'm like, okay, like, all right. Yeah, so
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I should fucking hit it.
Yeah. What were you saying about him being all laid back and all that?
Well,
it's balance.
Exactly.
It's balance. Yeah,
no, it's funny because I even in like training people, you know, doing a lot of kickboxing stuff, you get people that are, you know, first timers. They're not like aggressive people. They just kind of want to do the workout, and they're like, yo, this is fun. I like hitting shit. It's like you see them, it's like,
it's
wake something up in them. You're like, oh fuck, this is like, I could be into this.
Even for me, I do pads with clients just for cardio, not like for actual boxing and shit, but everybody loves it. Like I could be doing the worst job in the world, but they fucking love it, you know?
I was training Laura one time, and I decided to switch it up, and I'm like, you go ahead, throw punches at me. And she was like, no. She didn't want to hit me. I'm like, it's fine. I'm like, go ahead. And then all of a sudden, like, she landed one, and then she was like, oh my God. She's like, this is fun. And I'm like, yeah, and at first you didn't want to do it. She's like, yeah, but once I start doing it, this is great. I'm like, yeah, it's nice to hit people sometimes.
Yeah. It's cool seeing like their change and the way they think about hitting, you know?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Dude, even just seeing Danny's face when he started talking about being able to hit the guy.
Yeah, he lit up.
His eyes lit up like a kid on Christmas.
Yeah, well, dude, you know, sometimes like, for example, we have one guy who's an MMA fighter at the gym, Sunder, and like he's preparing for fights all the time, and he's always down to like add the strikes into the training, and like, I look forward to it. It's fun, you know?
Yeah, especially when it's like a departure from the norm, you know?
Right.
Like that
switches it up.
Added to it makes it just, and there's definitely some different type of like physiological reward to it also. Like when you're done, you feel a little bit differently. There's like a little bit of a different reward. You're like, all right, that was good.
Do you think combat jiu-jitsu is ever going to get like not as mainstream, but like more mainstream, like as a sport in general?
That's a good question. I think so. I think like anything, like with popularity, it's going to grow, and like more people will be open to training it. The more different instructors try it out and like bring it into their gyms.
I think it's definitely going to start to grow because
it's like a good middle ground.
Exactly. You know? And where you're going to have guys that are jiu-jitsu guys that don't want to fight MMA but are interested in doing that, and they'll be gravitated towards it. And then you're going to probably have guys that are leaving the sport of MMA and still kind of getting that middle ground and scratching that itch.
I think it's going to make jiu-jitsu and MMA better, because 100%. I think a lot of really good jiu-jitsu guys who are afraid to get into MMA, when they get to try that, they're going to be like, oh, okay, like I think I can do this, and
Yeah, I think it's going to lead to a lot of innovation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I think it's
Yeah,
it's
I
going to
agree.
accelerate the jiu-jitsu world and the MMA world, because you're going to start to see jiu-jitsu guys pulling off techniques in those scenarios, like you were saying, that were otherwise thought to not work.
Right.
You know, and they're going to prove that it works, and then some MMA guys are going to take
And
that
vice
same
versa.
thing. Yeah, and I think
start seeing some barabolas in the octagon, dude. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
I don't
might,
doubt it
man.
at all, dude. I really don't. And I was one of the bigger people years ago that thought a lot of that stuff would not work in those situations, and now you're starting to see it more and more, especially with the combat jiu-jitsu and guys like Gary Tone and you know, and
Ryan Hall.
Yeah, I was just about to say,
pulling a lot of things off. And I think it's still, the innovation is still in its infancy.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
the more as
definitely.
it goes on, you're going to see guys really start to perfect how to use it, when to use it, where to use it, and really make it effective.
And it's just another. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, even like specifically Barambolos, like, even, you know, jiu-jitsu guys thought that wouldn't really work in no-gi very much, but it's taking time. But the innovations are happening. People are understanding the setups better, and like, it's, you know,
It's working.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
getting refined more and more, and by more and more people as well.
Right.
Right.
And it's just like another option, you know. Now you have gi, no gi, and combat. You know,
Yeah.
it's like a whole nother section of jiu-jitsu.
yeah, which is cool. It's
Yeah.
really cool to see it all evolve.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah, I think in the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to see some crazy shit, like some real cool things, just because.
I mean, because we already have.
Yeah.
You know?
And like what we just said, and then also on top of the fact that now jiu-jitsu and MMA have been around a little bit longer, so now you're starting to see like these kids that are coming up that have been training since they're little kids, and now, like, you know, like the Rotolos and Kolabate, they're, you know, how good they are and how long they've been training at such a young age. You know, you're going to start to see even the generation after that.
Yeah.
Now they're going to like take that to another level. It's going to be bananas.
Yeah, those kids are gonna make like the Gordon Ryans of today look like they're fucking like they're nothing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I always,
Especially if you started a good school when you're young, like a little kid.
Yeah.
You know, like imagine starting at like
some
one
of those
the best
kids
schools.
at AOJ, man, that started since they're 5 years old or 3 years old, and like they're like 10 years old now, and you watch them, it's like, dude, they're training like adults. Like,
Oh my god,
Yeah.
It's
they're
crazy.
black belt level, but they're wearing an orange belt.
Yeah,
I was going to send this to
that's
you
sick.
actually. I was going to send you this article last night, and I forgot to do it. I was reading he was on some podcast, and he was talking about how when they first started AOJ, their whole focus was on building a strong kids program,
Dude.
so
Yeah.
that as they advanced, and now you can even they mentioned 2 kids that started in their kids program in their first year at black belt. They won major tournaments and titles, and that, though, like, they kind of used AOJ as like how AOJ revolutionized that whole thing. Like, they focus
Start from the ground up.
yeah,
Yeah.
building this program that these kids come through, so that when they're up in those ranks, they're there, you know, and like that they were the kind of like the first people to implement that. And that's been a thing in like football forever. Like
Or wrestling too.
they focus on like their peewees,
Yep.
so that as they come through their system, they're just, by the time they're up there,
In high school, they have a good
Yeah.
understanding
Yeah.
of the game.
yeah,
Playing
Yeah.
a very long game.
Yeah.
Those guys' vision, like the Mendez brothers, like their vision for not even just jiu-jitsu, like jiu-jitsu, business, like family, everything, like it's unparalleled, man. Those guys are so smart.
Yeah, it's
So
awesome.
smart.
Where did they train at before? Obviously, they opened.
They trained in Rio Claro with Hamon Limos in it's like their hometown. Like they just trained this school in their hometown. I think that they kind of like ended up cross training a little bit more when they became black belts to find like other
Right.
black belts to train with. But yeah.
That's sick.
No, that's cool. That's awesome.
All right,
what a
boys.
dope name too, Art of Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is awesome.
Shout out.
Yeah, let's wrap this up. Danny,
good.
you want to shout out the gym, your social media for
Yeah.
the listeners?
Shout out to Breathe Jiu-Jitsu, all the members, the coaches, Connor, Eddie, Joe, co-owner, manager, coach Jamie,
Hey.
life partner.
Yes.
Transcend Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh,
right?
Yep. Where can they find the gym? Where you located? Yeah, Hank.
Best thing to do, contact us via info@breedejujitsu.com, or you can hit us up on our Instagram page. Throw us a DM, whatever.
What's the Instagram page?
At Breathe Jiu-Jitsu.
No, he didn't mention that.
No,
He's just making sure we
Yeah, just making sure we're getting out there.
Thank you.
Yeah, go definitely check them out. It's a great
Right.
gym. It's going to be top
be
notch.
sick.
Thank you.
It's going to be awesome.
Shout out to the sponsors too: Relax and Revive, Vita Cryotherapy,
Yes.
Be Remy Fit,
Ooh.
Total Motion 360,
Damn.
Redefine Meals.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Jits and Tits podcast. Shout out to Island Kava.
Oh, damn.
Always holding it down.
Yeah, always.
There we
Kid's
go.
going off right
Yeah,
now.
I don't even have to do my job at the end
Oh,
of this.
yeah.
Damn, Nick, we might have a replacement for you.
Awesome. Yeah,
No,
Danny,
no.
thank you so much for waking up and,
Thank you
and
guys for having
me. Yeah,
hanging
thank
out
you.
with us
Yeah,
today.
dude, thank you.
Thank
We
you so much.
appreciate it.
Long time coming.
Yeah,
I really
absolutely.
appreciate it, guys.
All right, yo. Thanks for listening. Peace.
Peace.
Ta ta.